faculty for this particular train. I will be trainer for this particular meeting. Sorry, this particular session batch of SAP CM. So I am a conversion mediation specialist, and I am also SAP certified for BRIM to usage CAS certification. Okay. So I just like how much like expert you are in technical side. Like when we talk about SAP, most of the modules are functional. Only few modules are technical. So are you guys having little bit idea about programming and concepts related to software development? How much
Yeah, yes, Jay, I
information?
do have
All right. So
like 15 years of experience as an ABAP developer and also SAP
yeah,
PO integration and
yeah.
Informatica cloud integration tool.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah,
that
and other
would be
software.
very helpful for you if you have little bit
Yeah,
idea. If you don't have little bit idea, then anyways, we'll try to manage it. But you have to give more efforts from your side. Okay. So you should
yep,
be aware about some programming concept. Like as you're a web developer, so you should know like you must be knowing like how what are variables in programming language,
yeah,
loops, data structures, what are APIs, basic programming concept. That's it. Nothing required at very skilled level. Okay. Anyways,
okay.
yeah. So let me share the screen and then we can start. Let me know once my screen is visible to you guys. Is it visible? Hello.
Sorry, yes, I can see that.
All
Yes,
right.
yes.
All right. Okay. So this will be our entire journey of SAP CM. Like I have listed the topics sequence wise. So what will be the sequence and all for today's demo session? We'll be covering the first topic. Okay, the first topic I will be explaining you, and this module is purely technical module. Okay, so we'll be making our hands dirty in code, and like I will be using very least slides. Okay, for explaining whenever I feel like this concept needs to be explained on slides, at that time only I will be using the slides. Apart from that, we will be completely learning on the system. Okay, so practical training, not just theoretical concepts. Practically we'll implement things and understand how implementation is being done in actual projects. Okay, so this will be the entire journey. So very interesting topics. Okay, you will understand slowly. Okay, how CM, how much interesting CM module is. Okay, so let's start with our slide today. So what we have is, first of all, let's know about little bit about BRIM. Okay, then we'll come to SAP convergent mediation. Okay, and how it is being integrated with other modules, why we need to integrate. Okay, I will look about entire BRIM flow. So here you can see we have entire BRIM landscape, and we have various modules here starting from this subscription managed thing, that is our SOM. Then we have CM, then CC, then CI, and then financial contract accounting. Okay, so as you guys are already aware about BRIM, so I don't need to explain much, but still let's go through one by one module. So for managing subscription, okay, this is a module. So you will see, first of all, I want to tell you that this particular box, okay, this orange color box beneath, okay, this is our S4 HANA server. Okay, so whatever the modules like this one are the, and this one, this three blue color boxes are all three modules are being integrated into one S4 HANA service. You must be knowing this. But these two modules, this SAP conversion mediation and SAP conversion charging, they are not included in the S4 HANA solution. They are external systems or external tools for which you need to get license extra. This the licensing is not included in S4 HANA server. Okay. So starting with the first module, that is subscription order management. So this particular module is responsible for handling subscription, master data, and product creation and all. So you must be knowing, like whenever we usually purchase a product, it can be any product, like it can be a product or a service. Okay, it can be anything, like it can be a SIM card service, or it can be OTT subscription. Okay, any service. So whenever we purchase a service or a subscribe to a service, okay, a user needs to be created into S4 HANA solution. Okay, and this particular module is responsible for that. It creates master data in SAP system. So the customer data we refer as master data in SAP system. So it creates the customer information like name, what is the service he has subscribed, what is the plan he has purchased, and every details are being captured here. Okay, order details. So whatever the customer has created, all those things will be captured here. Okay, in this particular module. Now let's consider the telecom scenario so that we can connect to all these modules. So let's assume, like I want to use the data service, and for that I need a SIM card. Okay, so I will be going to some vendor who is providing the SIM cards, and I will ask him, okay, I want to use the data, so I want your SIM card. So he will create a new customer into his application, and he will allot a SIM card. For that he will ask me some basic details like phone number, Aadhaar card, or any other details. Okay, basic details, and he will onboard the customer. Okay, now the customer has been onboarded and service has been activated and all. Now the user will make the consumption, or user will use the service. Okay, like he will be using the data service, or he will be using call service, or he will be using the SMS service. Okay, so whenever a customer will purchase a product, he will subscribe to a service. Like let's say I'm subscribing to a 299 rupees plan, getting allowing me to use 1 GB of data per day. Okay, so whenever customer will make that usage, now that data should be deducted in real time. Okay, someone should deduct that data in real time, so that as soon as 1 GB is been consumed, the customer should are not allowed to use that particular service for that day. Okay, so SAP conversion charging is a module which is doing that role. So the basic idea, or the basic role which SAP conversion charging doing is rating and charging. It is basically deducting the usage in real time or in batch time. Okay, whatever is suitable for your business. Okay, so either it is doing in real time or in batch time, but basically charging the customer, like what amount the customer has to pay. Okay, or how much it has consumed. So there are two processes, one is the rating and another one is charging. So rating involves all the calculation part. Okay, like basically getting the amount, okay, for the customer has consumed. And charging, it means identifying the account which needs to be deducted for that usage. So customer can have two accounts. You must be knowing, one can be the external or a postpaid account, and another one can be the prepaid account. Oh, and there can be multiple postpaid accounts as well. So conversion charging will basically decide, okay, the charging process will basically decide which account needs to be charged for this customer for this particular consumption. Okay, now the customer has made the usage and all. Okay, so there should be a bill generated, we need to give the bill or invoice to the customer. Okay, like you have used this service and all. Okay, final bill. So let's assume it's a postpaid scenario. So bill needs to be generated at the end of the month, or end of the billing cycle. So for that we have SAP convergent invoicing module. So this particular module involves two major processes. There are other processes as well, but two major processes are billing and invoicing. So the billing, so there are two documents generated by this model. One is the billing document and another one is invoicing document. So billing document has the information about how much a customer has used and all, but invoicing is a final draft that customer has to pay. Okay, so it can involve taxes, it can involve previous month amount which needs to be paid, or else the late payment fees and all. So everything is been settled at in invoicing document. Okay, so once the invoicing is sent to the customer, or invoice document is the customer, we need to get the money from the customer, we need to get money. That particular part is handled by contract accounting, or SAP FICA. So as soon as the invoicing is been generated, an open item is been created in SAP FICA, and then payment collection, dunning charges, and everything is been handled here. Okay, so this was the entire BRIM flow, but the question here is how SAP conversion mediation, plays a role in this. So we can, notice that for every process we have a module dedicated to it. Okay, so for handling the master data we have SOM, for rating and charging we have CC, for invoicing and billing we have CI, and payment related stuffs we have SAP FICA. Then how CM came in this particular diagram on this flow. So the problem here is this particular modules, okay, handle or accept data in a specific format. Okay, so you must be knowing a data always has some format. Okay, now what kind of format I'm talking about? It can be file, it can be JSON data, mostly in the case of API it can be XML data. Okay, and web service data. In general, if we talk about format which we are using in day-to-day life are MP4, then we use text formats, then we use lot of format JPEG formats. Okay, so these are the formats in which data is being stored. Okay, so every module accept the data into a specific format here. So whenever a customer needs to be onboarded on SAP SOM or in SAP system using SAP SOM system, okay, at that time we need to send some data, or we need to ingest the data into this particular module. Okay, and if you go to the let's say if you're going for purchasing a SIM card service, okay, at that time we are not giving the access of this SAP SOM to the person who is sitting on the counter for onboarding the customer. They are given some different web application, or you can say HTML page. At a high level I can call HTML application or front end application. Okay, and he is ingesting that data into that application, and from there it is coming to our SAP SOM. Now, that particular HTML page can't directly send the data to SAP SOM. Okay, because SAP SOM accept the data in a specific format. It can be an OData API. It can be a RFC call. Okay, so to send the data to SAP SOM, we need to make a layer in between, and that layer can be our mediation system or SAP convergent mediation. So it is a middleware tool which sits between two application to convert the data from one format to the another format. Okay, so this particular module will handle the data of various format and convert the data into the format accepted by the destination system. Okay, now this is what I explained about the SAP SOM, how SAP SOM can use SAP CM. Okay, now second thing is SAP conversion charging. Okay, so SAP conversion charging is responsible to perform rating in real time as well as in batch mode. We'll come to it later what exactly is real time and what is batch and what is the difference between these two. Okay, but so real time it means like customer will make the consumption at any moment. So I can make a call anytime, I can make the data usage anytime, and at that particular moment only your usage should be deducted from your bucket. Okay, so you must notice whenever you make a data usage, and if you will see in your application, okay, of the service provider, you will find that the data is being deducted in real time. Okay, so who is doing that? SAP conversion charging is doing that. In which format the data is being accepted by SAP conversion charging? The data can be accepted in the form of Java API call as well as in the form of web service call. So these are the two formats which have been accepted by SAP conversion charging, and SAP CM is capable of collecting the real time data from the network nodes. Okay, so whenever we make a call usage or a data message, that the request is sent to the nearby towers and all, and from there it is going to this OSS. Okay, so online charging, OCS, sorry, not OSS, OCS, so online charging system. So SAP CM is capable of handling the data from this network nodes. Okay, it can very efficiently collect the data from those network nodes and send the data to SAP CC in real time. Okay, now next is SAP convergent invoicing. So sometimes, okay, so ideally the SAP convergent invoicing accept the data in the form of sits and bits, you must be knowing, or we can directly ingest the billing documents as well, okay, or invoicing documents as well from different sources. So whenever you want to load the sits and bits from system, Okay, so sometimes SAP CC is not ingesting the sets. Okay, so there are two scenarios. One scenario is SAP CC will ingest the sets or bits, and another scenario is you want to ingest sets directly into CI without involving CC. Okay, in that scenario we can go for SAP conversion mediation. Why? SAP conversion mediation can make an RFC call, okay, to create or ingest the sits into SAP CI. So that particular scenario is, comes when you are handling the rating in batch mode. Okay, so whenever you want to, perform rating in batch mode, it means, you will collect the usage for, let's say, 1 month. Okay, so I can give the, batch rating scenario with the example of electricity consumption. So you must be knowing, like, we consume electricity every day, right? But we don't get bill after every, consumption, or every day. Okay, the bill gets, we get the bill after 1 month. Okay, so the, consumption is being aggregated or collected somewhere. Okay, at one place, and after 1 month, that rating and charging is happening, and then we are getting the bill. Okay, so this is a batch mode. Okay, you're collecting the usage and then, performing the rating and charging. So this is, performing rating in batch scenario. Okay, so SAP conversion mediation can ingest the consumption items directly in SAP CI using an RFC interface. Okay, that's why we can integrate SAP conversion mediation with directly with invoicing, as well as whenever you want to, uh, send the data to legacy rating system. Okay, so this SAP conversion charging is, like, one of the most popular rating system, but there are some another legacy rating and charging systems, so you can even integrate CM with that as well. Okay, very easily. Then comes SAP contract accounting. So whenever you want to, deal with payment lots and all, at that time we can ingest those data directly in SAP, for contract accounting or SAP FICA directly. Okay, so this SAP conversion mediation can also, convert the data formats of payment handling. So it can convert the data formats into one homogeneous format. Okay, for payment handling, I will explain you in the next slides. Okay, so here I have explained you how SAP conversion mediation can be integrated with other BRIM modules in a BRIM landscape. Okay, let's go for the particular use case, specific use case. Okay, and then you will get the more, clarity how we can integrate the CM with other, S4HANA modules. So the next slide is, we can call this as features of SAP conversion mediation. Okay, so these are the features of SAP conversion mediation. So you can see in the middle we have SAP conversion mediation. At the left we have data sources, and at the right we have data consumers. So what are data sources? Data sources are the sources from which the data originates. Okay, or from which we will receive the data for processing. It can be in any form. It can be in the file format, it can be in the database format, it can be in the API format, it can be in the middleware queues, like we have RabbitMQ, or we have Kafka queue. Okay, JMS queues. So we can get data from any source. Okay, and that data need to be sent to, different consumers. Okay, so here we are basically, focusing on BRIM modules. So that's why we have written here SOM, CCCI, and FICA. So these are the, consumers of the data, consuming data in different format. So SAP CM can perform few things and then send the data. And what are those few things? Those few things can be data acquisition. Data acquisition means we can collect the usage. Okay, like whatever I told you just now for batch rating. Okay, we are holding the data for some time and then we are sending the data. Okay, so that is data acquisition. Data validation. So sometimes the data can be invalid and we don't want that data to be sent to the consumers to increase unnecessary load on that system. So SAP CM can filter out the invalid data and route only the valid data. Okay, data cleansing, like we can remove things from the data, we can enrich the things. Okay, enrich the data, like SAP CM can enrich the data by using the data which has been already stored at CM, as well as with the data which is stored in databases or some different files. Okay, so that is normalization and cleansing. Then we have aggregation. So aggregation means you must be knowing, if you have little bit idea about in CI, we perform aggregation of consumption items, so that multiple consumption items can be clubbed into one line item and then sent to CC for rating and charging. So we can avoid multiple calls on the rating system. So same thing can be achieved at this one CM as well. So CM can aggregate the data, and after performing aggregation, we can send the data to the destination system. So this is one of the most powerful and advanced concept which they have introduced in CM. Apart from that, we have error capture and reprocessing. So for that, CM has something called as ECS, error correction system. So whenever the data is invalid or there is some erroneous data, okay, CM can hold it, okay, for a specific time, and allow us to make a decision what needs to be done for this data, whether you want to reprocess the data, whether you want to discard the data, or what you want to do with this data. Okay, so that is something called as ECS, which helps in error capture and reprocessing mechanism. Then enrichment, whatever the data we are getting, sometimes it is incomplete, and we need to add some additional information in the data. That can be done using CM using enrichment. Okay, so these were the features of SAP CM. Okay, these things CM can do very easily, and which are very important when we send data from one source to the another source. So you can see we have sources are categorized into real time and batch. Okay, so I have a different slide for this, for real time and batch sources. But yeah, what is real time sources? Real time sources are the sources which can send the data to SAP CM at any moment of time. Okay, CM can receive data at any moment of time. What are the batch sources? Batch sources, it means you will be receiving data at a particular time, and the file format, or it can be in through form of database table, something like that. Okay, so handling the batch data is quite easier when compared to real time data. Okay, so in real time data, mostly APIs are involved. Okay, and here you can see in real time we can send the data to SAP SOM for onboarding a customer, or getting the information about the customer. Then CC for triggering the rating process, CI for ingesting consumption items, and FICA for handling payment lot and payment processing things. Apart from that, sometimes you might need to send the data to other non SAP system, like it can be a database, it can be let's assume you want to display things in some graphical format, kind of statistics and all. Okay, so CM can send data to there as well. Okay, yeah. So let's move to the next system. So you can see any time, any source, anytime. So that is basically a real time your scenario here. Next, let's jump into specific use case of SAP CM. So you can see here at the below we have this S4 HANA solution, and we have a small layer of SAP Convergent mediation, and someone has been interacting with S4 HANA system, and by involving SAP CM in between. Okay, so the front end system it is written, and point number one it is written. So front end system, interacting with contract offering and order management. It means this is our SAP SOM module. Okay, SAP subscription order module. So there could be a front end application which needs which want to send the data to SAP SOM for onboarding a new customer or creating the master data. Okay, so it is not capable directly to make a RFC call, okay, or an OData API call. So SAP CM can do it very well. So what it will do, it will send the data to SAP CM, and SAP CM will ingest the data into SAP subscription order management. A very nice example I can give you is Netflix. So let's say you are a new user and you want to register yourself on Netflix so that you can enjoy the streaming service. Okay, so what do, you go to the Netflix portal, right? And at the Netflix portal they will give you a login page or a sign up page. You need to enter few details like email address, phone number, and your name, and a customer will automatically created, like a user will be created, and then you need to make some payments and all and all. So that particular application, that front end application, might be integrated with S4 HANA system, by using SAP Convergent mediation in between them. I'm just giving an example so that you can correlate this front end application with this integration with this 4 HANA system. Okay, so SAP CM can sit in between these two application, get the data from this application, and it will send the data in some API format. Okay, let's say it is sending the data in JSON format. Now, this particular module requires the data in the form of RFC call. Okay, so CM will do that. So it will take the data and it can, validate the data and filter out the data, and it will only send the valid data to SAP SOM. Okay, then usage platform. Okay, so basically this is like whatever the scenario which I explained, for of data usage and call usage. Okay, so for handling the usage in real time. Okay, so someone should send the data to SAP Convergent charging. Otherwise, how it will deduct your bucket, the whatever they have offered you allowances. Okay, let's say 2 GB data per day. So they should so you the data should be sent to CC, then only it will deduct. So this conversion mediation will basically send the data to CC in its format, which has been accepted by SAP. That can be a web service or a Java API call. So the network nodes will send the data to CM, and CM will send the data to SAP Convergent charging. This I explained, like if you want to ingest the external billing document or invoicing document as well as consumption items, you can load those items into SAP CI using conversion mediation using an RFC call. Okay, so S4 HANA mostly uses RFC call for getting the data from different sources. Okay, so the data is being sent using the RFC call. Okay, so you must be heard about BAPIs and all. So CM can call those BAPIs. Okay, so we can even ingest external invoices, like if you are getting invoices from other system as well, and that you want to club into the existing invoices of the customer in S4 HANA system, then we can use SAP CM to load those invoices. Okay, then yeah, this one, banks. So homogeneous numerous bank and payment file formats. Okay, so whenever you want to collect the data, not data, money, or collect the payment from the customer for a service, then we send the request to the banks. Okay, and banks, send the response into different formats. So there should be someone who should, convert those formats into one homogeneous format. So CM can do it very well. It can accept the data from the different formats and convert into one single homogeneous format, which can be understood by our FICA system. Let's go to the next slide. Yeah. So this is one of the most interesting use case. Okay, in which they have used SAP conversion mediation. Okay, let's see how. So before explaining this slide, let me explain you one example. So assume we are purchasing a refrigerator. Okay, a refrigerator has a feature of ordering a milk and eggs automatically. Okay, so whenever the eggs are not present in your refrigerator, it will place an order to, let's say there are so many commerce sites available now, so it can automatically place the order, okay, for you, like ordering milk and ordering the eggs. Okay, and for that you need to pay some monthly fees, okay, to the service provider. Now let's say you purchase that refrigerator, fine, we brought the refrigerator at house. Okay, so the customer should not be billed until and unless the first order is not made. Okay, so let's say today I purchase the refrigerator, and I need to set up the refrigerator using the internet connection and all. Okay, after that only that refrigerator will be capable of making the orders and all. Okay, so once I am onboarded completely, after that only I should be billed. Okay, so this is a scenario. Now how it is handled, so let's come to the slide now. So this is a device management platform, okay, like from which our refrigerator will be connected, something like that. Okay, so as soon as, okay, I have as set up my refrigerator, it will make the first order. Okay, it will make the first order, and it will send the data to the rating and charging system to get the usage amount, or let's say you to create a bit, okay, for that particular consumption. So that it will send the data to SAP CM, and SAP CM will send the data to the rating and charging system. Okay, after the first order is made to create the consumption item or a billable item there. But this customer is not yet onboarded. Okay, this customer is not yet onboarded into SAP system. So this rating and charging system will report an error to SAP CM, like, hey SAP CM, whatever the data you sent to me, that customer is not present in S4 HANA system. That customer is not onboarded on into S4 HANA system. So SAP CM will get that data at point number two. Again, the response from CC or rating and charging system, and it will see, okay, CC is saying that there is no customer in the system. So I need to send this data to SOM first. So here SAP CM will make a decision to send that data to SAP SOM here. So you can see at point number three, SAP CM is sending that data to SAP SOM to onboard that customer first. Okay, now SAP SOM will create the customer and then respond back to SAP CM that yes, the customer has been created now. Now again at point number four, SAP CM will ingest the same usage data to CC for creating the consumption item or billable item, whatever has been implemented. Now SAP CC will perform the rating and charging and create the bit or sheet whatever is being configured in the system. So here you can see SAP CM is sitting between all these modules and interacting with them for to solve this particular problem. So whenever a new customer is been onboarded or whenever a new customer makes a consumption, SAP CM is making the decision here. Okay, so that we need to send data to first SOM. Okay, then SOM will respond, and then we need to send the data to CC, and then things will go in a flow. Okay, so this is how you can see that how SAP CM is interacting with the IoT device as well as S4 HANA system. Okay, not like all the modules of S4 HANA system, and the module, one of the most important module, that is rating and charging, which is outside the S4 HANA system. So this is how you can use SAP system, sorry, SAP CM system for IoT billing. Okay, so this is the specific use case for IoT billing. Very interesting use case. Let's go to the next slide. Yeah. So these are the generic, use case for that is usage collection. Okay. So usage collection means what is exactly a usage? Okay. So usage is something which customer is, making, like customer is using a service. For example, I'm using a data service. I'm using a call service. So service is not, freely available. You need to pay for a service. Okay. So how much is the amount for that service? Okay. That is been decided by SAP CC. Okay. But there should be someone who should collect that usage and send to CC. So SAP CM is, the module which is responsible to collect the usage mostly. Okay, in all the BRIM scenarios, whenever the usage collection is there, SAP CM is the primarily module which is kept responsible for this task. Okay, for usage collection. Yeah, we can directly load the sets in CI as well, like consumption. You can load those in CI as well, but still SAP CM is given preference because it can handle the consumption. Usage collection in different scenarios, that is real time as well as in batch mode, and it can route those data to billing system, rating system, or other systems. Okay, so the data, the sources from which we collect the data are called as upstreams. Okay, from where we are getting the data. So upstreams can be network nodes, it can be API, database, files. Then what are the other sources of database? It can be some front end applications. Okay, IoT devices, cloud applications. Okay, we can get data literally from anywhere. Okay, CM can get data from anywhere, but now where you want to send the data, so you need to convert the data. So SAP CM will basically convert the data will accepted by the destination system or a downstream. Okay, so whatever the systems are written at the right or who are the consumers of of the data are referred as downstreams. So CM will convert the data. So data conversion is the primary responsibility of SAP CM. Data conversion, so collect the data from one format and convert the data from the one format to the format accepted by the destination system and send that downstream. Okay, What is the next use case? Data migration. So data migration is not, this use case is not specific to our what I can say BRIM, but it is a generic use case. So let's assume your application was running on some particular database. Let's say it can be MySQL. Okay, and now you are scaling up and migrating to one of the latest application or one of the nice database server that can be, let's say, S4 solution, or it can be a Redis database. Okay, now, the data which was stored earlier into one database needs to be migrated completely into the next database or the new database. Okay, so SAP CM can handle this, very well. How? It can perform data validation. Okay, let's say you want to filter out the incorrect data. Okay, and you don't want to send that data into the new database server, then SAP CM can basically reject that. Then data type handling, what does it mean? So when there are two different database okay servers, you must be knowing there is always a, they are using the specific data types. Okay, so the date format in this particular database can be different into this database. Okay, and one database might be using some another type for storing the binary data, another database must be using some another types for binary data. So whenever there are data types issues, CM can convert, you can basically give rules, okay, in CM, so that data conversion can be handled. Okay, and you know the you can convert the data to the destination database data type. Okay, then reprocessing. Sometimes few of the records might get rejected. Okay, due to data validation filters. Okay, and now you want to observe and check if you want to make the reprocessing thing for that or not, like you want to reprocess those things or not. So reprocessing and error handling can be done using CM, using ECS. Okay, so data migration is one of the important use case. And yeah, so there are widely supported database servers which CM can be integrated with. We will check that in our system. Then the last topic of this session is architecture of SAP CM. So this is how our CM architecture is being divided. It is basically divided into three zones. Okay, so first one is the access zone, second one is the control zone, and third one is the execution zone. Okay, so what does access zone means, and why they have divided this server into different zones? So every zone has some responsibility. So access zone is a zone or a place from where you will be accessing the CM system. Okay, so let's say you want to access the CI system or SOM system. So there are different ways we can access. We can access it using SAP login tool. Okay, or we can access it through web browser. Okay, similarly you can access SAP CM in three ways. Okay, one is using the desktop application of SAP CM, another one is the web portal, CLI. Okay, command line interface. Okay, so this zone is primarily responsible for accessing the CM. Then next comes the control zone. Control zone is the heart of the CM. Okay, why? Because there is something called as platform which resides under this zone. Okay, so what exactly is a platform? A platform is a container. Okay, platform is a container which holds all the necessary information and files and configuration for working of SAP CM. Okay, so it is basically your actual CM server, okay, which resides here. So you can see it has code server, notification server, event server, workflow server. So all the configurations and important files are being stored into this particular zone. Now what is execution zone? So whenever you will create a small mediation system. Okay, so don't get confused, small mediation system are referred to as workflows. Okay, we are referring to workflows. Okay, so there is something called as workflows which we will be creating, or maybe I will be showing just now after this architecture part. So whenever you create a workflow, basically you are creating the configuration, or you are creating the code. Okay, that code needs to be run somewhere. Okay, so if you know little bit about Java, so whenever you do coding in Java. So that code will be executed on engine, and the name of the engine is JVM, Java Virtual Machine. Okay. Similarly, whatever the code we are creating or whatever the workflow we are creating in SAP CM, it requires some engine for its execution, and that engine is reside in this execution zone. So you can create small engines, okay, dedicated to a workflow. Okay, so you can see we have execution context and service context. So these execution contexts are small engines, or you can also call them small JVMs, on which our workflow will be running. Why I we can call it as JVM? Because internally, whatever the code we will be creating in SAP CM will be compiled to Java, and Java requires JVM. So these are the small JVMs which we are creating for the execution of our workflow. Okay, our workflows will be running on this particular ECs or JVMs. Now, sometimes this control zone and execution zone can be clubbed into one server. Okay, one server, I am referring to one machine, one IP address. Okay, so mostly in dev environments and staging environments, okay, when there is not much load, this control zone and execution zones are installed on a same server. Okay, but in production environments, okay, when you have huge load, this control zone is kept on some another server, that is, it will have its own IP address, and execution zone will be installed on a different server. So it will have this own IP address, and they will be connected to it. So you can see here there is a line going, okay, and it is written as execution context and service context. Okay, why? Because sometimes control zone and execution zone will be on different servers, okay, and workflows will be created here. Okay, workflows will be created on control zone, so they should know what are the execution contexts being created on control zone. Okay, so these two servers will be created, and this will be handled at installation time. So why we need this zones on different servers? What could be the scenario? So assume initially you are having only 10 small mediation system or 10 workflows into your project. So same server is enough for creating this execution context as well. Okay, and whenever you create an execution context, it requires some memory on the server. Okay, it requires some memory. You need to allot some memory. Okay, basically your heap memory. So let's say five this execution context were enough, but now your system is expanding, you're adding workflows continuously. Okay, so this execution context are not capable of handling all the workflows. Okay, now you will be increasing the execution context, you can create more execution context definitely, but memory, how you will increase the memory? Definitely you need to increase the memory here, otherwise you won't be able to increase the execution context. So to handle this, they basically maintain a different server on which execution context will be created. Okay, now so after a specific time, that particular server will also getting full. Okay, so now you can again install a one more execution context on a different server. So platform can be or this control zone can be connected to different execution zones. Okay, a one control zone can have different execution zones depending upon the load. So in some of the projects, they can have 3 to 4 execution zones as well, but control zone will be one, will be kept as one. Okay, so I hope you get little idea, you got little idea about conversion mediation, and I will be showing you the system. Okay, now you can see this is our tool. Okay, this is the conversion mediation tool, and this is a small workflow, you can call it as a workflow. Why it is called as a workflow? But it because it represents a flow of data. Okay, it represents a flow of data, so data will be coming from here somewhere somehow, and it will be going to here, then it can go to here. So let me show a workflow having more agents. Yeah, so you can see the data originates from here, it is going to here, then it can go here or here. So this represents the flow of data, that's why it is called as a workflow. Okay, and it will run, you need to execute it for processing the data. So to execute the workflow, you need that basically your execution context. Okay, or execution zone. So we'll be explaining this tool in the next session. Okay. And the topic for the next session is overview about the tool. So we'll have the journey, okay, of all the things which are being present in this tool, okay, and how to use them, okay. So that will be part of the next session. If you have any question in this particular slide, then you can ask me.
Okay, Jay. Yeah, thanks for the presentation. It's really clear and concise to the topic, and that's really helpful.
Yeah.
So I have the first question is like,
Hmm.
what are the is there any programming language
Hmm.
is
Yeah.
required to do the coding? Because the screenshot you have, I mean, in the system you have showed one workflow, right? It has
Yeah.
Python as a connector, and it has on the right side there is a code.
Yeah.
Is there any thing
So,
specific to
yeah.
CM we
Yeah.
need to learn before as a prerequisite, or will that be covered as part of the training?
Yeah. So, sorry, this is Python. So let's not open this. Yeah. So there is a dedicated language to CM. The name of the language is Analysis Programming Language. Okay. And it is very much similar to Java. Okay. Because internally it is being compiled to Java only. So if you know basics of Java, you will be easily able to understand the language which has been used in CM. Okay. So we have all the things like creating objects, creating variables, using loops, list, maps, the data structures, whatever we are using in Java. So if you know little bit about Java, then definitely you will be able to understand APL as well. And there is one more language that is called as UFDL, Ultra Format Definition Language, which is different, and I will be definitely teaching that. Okay. So if I show you here the topics, mm, so yeah, topic number 4. So I will be explaining you this language. Apart from this, you can see I have kept topic number 6 as Analysis Programming Language Fundamentals. Okay. So even if you don't know, about Java or any other programming language, definitely I will be covering the very basics of this language. Okay. The fundamentals which will require for developing logics. Yeah.
Okay. And anything about Python?
No, not about Python. That was
Okay.
just some use case which I was trying to implement using Python. So there are few things which we can't do using Java or using APL.
Okay.
So CM is also providing us support to execute Python code inside our CM. Okay, so you can see this
Mm.
particular code is Python code.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I was doing some POCs related to Excel files. So that's why I created this workflow. So not
So basically,
specific.
in general, like when we read an API, right? Like let's say REST web service, right? So CM can able to
Yeah,
using this one
definitely.
of these languages, that JSON
Yes,
format what we get as a payload, it can
exactly.
internally convert that to the receiver's you know
Yes.
uh,
Yeah.
format and send
So
the
you can
data.
see
Okay.
this is the example of API. This is example of
Okay.
API. So in CM we have something called as agents. Okay. So we
Okay.
have to write, like there are two level of things. Like one is the configuration and another one is code logic. Okay.
Mm.
So 20% of the task is done by the agents. Like
Okay.
like let's say whenever you want the system to APIs. So what you need? You need an IP address, okay, of our system so that he can send the data to us. Okay. You need a port number. You need a URL path. So all this thing you can configure here. Okay.
Okay.
And then the client system can send the data to us in the JSON format and all. And then what you
Mm.
want to do with that data now? That you need to write as a part of your logic. Okay. Using
Okay.
coding. Okay.
Got it. So my
Yes.
situation is like, I'm leading a team here, okay, the
Okay.
integration team and development team,
Yeah.
and one of the person, like, the CM team, I have 5 people, okay, and I need
Okay.
to kind of validate whatever they're doing, but I know nothing about CM because there is no way I can learn outside, right? Other than a dedicated trainer, because SAP is not offering any trainings because it's a third party
Yes.
and they are redirecting to digital zone, whatever,
Route.
uh,
Digital route.
digital route. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've tried contacting them and they're responding, but it's very slow. But yeah, so one of the person is very senior. He was part of the digital route. who actually
Mhm.
designed this tool. Okay, and he's working
Yeah.
with us, and I need to validate his work.
Mhm.
So I need to be like, that is my situation. So that's what
Yeah.
I'm looking for, like, understanding and in and out about this tool with your help. Okay.
So
Yeah.
your expertise are, quite enough for, understanding this tool. Definitely, I can say that by your knowledge.
Hmm.
So yeah, it like your expertise will be helpful, very much helpful for learning this tool. It will be very easy for you
Okay, great.
because you have the core, idea of the programming and developing
Yeah, yeah,
logic. Yeah.
yeah.
So it will be very easy for me to explain you things.
Cool.
Any more questions?
So, yeah, so you are covering any project related kind of scenario use cases which you have already done or not?
Yeah, yeah. So, like for the way of this training would be like I will be first explaining you the concept. Okay, what exactly is the concept? Then I will show you some use cases which are already been implemented in the projects based on my experience. Like this concept can be used for which particular use case. Okay, so just now I showed you this thing. Um, yeah, this is a simple workflow. So there could be a use case for creating these things. So first I will be explaining the conceptually, and then I will explain you the things, use case wise. Definitely.
Okay, so you have any document for practice exercise kind of you will also share, right? Or
I will be sharing you the exercise question, okay, for after every session so that you can practice. And for documentation, we have only one documentation, that is official documentation of digital route. It is a free documentation. I will provide you the link as well as the offline, file which I have.
no, like any system configuration, like when we are implementing first time, so you are
Mhm,
connecting with SOM or CC or CI. So
mhm.
you have also have some configuration document, so that kind of document will you share or not?
So there is only one documentation for everything in CM. Okay, it
No,
has all the yeah.
that link which you are specifying, that is only for CM, but initial setup when we are connecting two systems,
Mhm.
that time you are doing some configuration, right? Like defining the port or anything with CM, CM with SOM and CC, some configuration document you are doing, right?
Just specific documentation, but if I'll show you once again, let me show you this thing. So let's say you want to integrate the SAP CM system with SAP CI. Okay, so we
Yeah.
have a dedicated agent to it, that is SAP RFC processor. Okay, so just like I showed you the workflow, right? So
Yes, yes.
we have the agents, okay, specific to every use case. So this agent is basically the agent responsible to make a connection with the S4 system. Okay, so you can see they have shown here like the user must be little bit aware about RFC processor agent and SAP JCO library. So you can see it is written to download the SAP JCO library. You need to download this and this. So here they have given a detailed configuration. I'll show you. So what all things you need to do whenever you want to make a configuration or you want to make a connection with a recipe system. So you can see they have written here. So this documentation is very helpful and very detailed.
This
Okay.
is only from the CM side, right? Some setup you will do on the SOM side or CC side. So that kind of connectivity documentation, if you have.
No, no, I don't have such documentation because whatever you want to do in CC side, that definitely you should get the documentation from the CC documentation, not the CM documentation. Yeah. But you can see like for connecting to RFC, you need to get the username from RFC, password, then whether you want to load balance, what is SAP system number, what is a client number, what is the SNC library path. So this information, whatever is required, okay, for making this connection, okay, with the SAP system, that is been, available here. Now, how you will get that information from other application, that is not been available here, and even I can't provide that because my expertise are at CM side. Definitely, I have experience in integrating system. But yeah, most of those tasks will be done by the person who are experienced in those module. Like if you want to make an integration with SAP CC, then that person will share you the credentials for CC. That person will share you the user for the CC. Definitely.
Okay. So another question, like the deployment, like you have done the setup, like workflow and written the code.
Mhm.
So how the deployment will happen? Can you give some brief overview?
So if you see, we have something called as Git integration. Okay.
Yes, yes.
So CM has recently introduced, Git support. So you can perform the deployment using Git. Okay. So you can just push your code on Git and pull the code in your production system or any other system. Okay. So this is the
In Git
latest.
also there is a action, right, to using the workflow also. You can automate once it is moved to dev, then you can directly send it to QA and prod. So that kind of you have already done.
So there is no such or this CI/CD pipeline in CM.
Yes,
Okay. It is
there
not
is a
yeah.
action. Yeah.
Yeah. So you need to so earlier before this Git integration, like this is introduced latest in I guess 9.2 version of CM. So before that, what people are doing, they were getting the export from the CM system in a form of zip file, and that
Okay.
particular file was being manually imported into another system. Okay.
Okay.
Let's say you want to deploy it in QA, then you will import that file in QA and check the code changes. And from there, if you want to deploy it from production, then definitely you need to import in the production environment. Okay. So this was
Okay.
a manual task, but now they have introduced, this Git. So anyways, this feature is not yet implemented in the projects across, companies. But yeah, slowly they are adapting with Git integration. So yeah, I will be explaining you how we can push the code on Git as well as pull the code from the Git into our system for
Okay.
deployments.
Okay.
Anything more?
Another question, like that application which will running on some containerization, right? Concept of AWS something.
Mhm.
So
So
like
you
that.
can install SAP CM on cloud or you can install it on premise. Okay. So yeah. So generally
But
I haven't, worked. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, but
Yeah. Please go ahead.
most of the time the application should be run 24 into 7, right? So they need to deploy on cloud only, because it's most means some of the workflow need to be run all the time, right?
Yes, yes. So even if you are installing the server on premise, it is not like
But
mandatory that it will not run.
containerization and all that part will be handled by developer or by basis team, the setup side. Who will be doing?
So the server handling part will be definitely handled by the base system.
Okay.
Okay. But yeah, as a developer, you should be knowing like if your system gets down, then how you can make it up. If your execution context goes down, how you can make it up. So those are few basic Linux utility command given by CM through which we can handle those things. But yeah, for handling in production environment and all, definitely mostly the companies are preferring to have their own basis team for that.
Yeah, and also Chandan, just to elaborate on your question. So you're looking for real time, like continuous looking or continuous running, right? I think that is a type of setting in the integration itself when you deploy solution, right?
Hmm.
So as a developer, you need to set up that how you need to run that particular integration. You need to continuously monitor or based on a schedule, or is it on demand? So that's how the setting will be done in the
Yeah.
system
So
configuration.
yeah. So the mediation is divided into two major parts. One is the batch and one is the real time mediation. Okay. So real time mediation has the capability that it will continuously run. Okay. Once you just start it, it will keep on running until and unless you stop it manually. Okay. And batch mediation, let's say you want to run the mediation system at every morning at 8 a.m. Okay, or 8 a.m and 8 a.m 8 p.m in the night. So you can configure those things. So as a developer, definitely you have to configure those things. Okay. But yeah, monitoring part, we don't need to check about monitoring, like whether it is continuously running or not, whether it's getting down or not. Yeah. Okay. So how it should run, or how, at what interval it should run, that definitely as a CM consultant we have to configure it. Okay. Because that is been handled in the tool. Okay. Not at the server side. Okay. So whatever is been handled inside the tool, a CM developer needs to handle it. Okay. And whatever needs to be handled at server level, that basis guy will handle it.
Okay.
Yeah. So whenever you will see this part, real time workflows. Okay. So at that time you will understand like how mediation system is continuously running for few of the services. And whenever you will see the batch part, so here is a batch part. Yeah. So this will run whenever you want to run it at a particular time or interval.
But there are four type of workflow, right? There's something called system task and task. That part you are
Yes.
not.
Yeah, we have that at the end. You can see topic number 24.
Okay.
Okay. So that is used for very specific use case. So I will explaining you one to two use case in which we can use this task workflow. Okay.
Okay, sure. And some of the what's new content recently, this mediation platform they have released, right? If you explain that part also, it will be very helpful because we
So
do not know.
definitely, yeah.
Last for two, three release, what's the new feature came up? If you explain that part, it will be very helpful.
Yeah, definitely. So you can see this Git integration was recently introduced few months back only in 2025.
Okay.
So I included in. So yeah, definitely like what is been deprecated and what was being newly introduced, that definitely I will tell you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. But they are not making a huge change. Like they will be introducing few things, but they can't make a huge change. Okay, in existing solution, because already the solutions are been running that particular implementation. So whenever
Yes.
they are upgrading, whenever we are upgrading from one version to another, so the existing system should be also running. Okay, so they're adding feature, but they're not making that much huge change. Okay. But yeah, I will explain some changes which have been made recently. And like mediation zone 9, okay, whatever the tool we are using, it is the latest one only. So you can see this is 9.3.0.2. Okay. And in the market right now it is 9.4, which was released 2 or 3 months back. Okay. So this
Okay.
is yeah, new release we are using for this training.
And
And
some of the best practice, some what will be the approach? Also, you will explaining, right?
yes, definitely. So how you will divide the logic across workflows? How many workflows you need to be created for a particular problem statement? So that I will explain you. What are the coding standards you need to follow? What are the naming conventions you need to follow when you will be creating the configurations? Okay, how you should maintain a folder structure. Okay, so all those best practices I will be explaining you.
In the coding side, can you use any agent we have, right? Copilot, cursor,
So
or
those particular, yeah, AIs don't have, knowledge about APL language and very
okay.
minimum, knowledge about SAP CM. Okay. So I don't
That is good thing, I
recommend
think.
you. So I don't
For future.
recommend you to use, AI for, learning SAP CM,
No, no,
because
but
they have very minimal
pushing the
knowledge.
code to GitHub, right? So in GitHub also now they have a link to the Copilot something, right? So there also they can learn. Means they are training their models. So that's why I asked whether we can use or not.
So let's say you want to, develop some APIs or something like that. Okay, you want to implement some custom logic that you can ask, ChatGPT or Gemini. So they can give the, logic in Python language or Java language. So at least you have the logic, and that logic you can convert into APL. Okay,
Okay.
but some of
No,
the
this
use
is
cases like,
part,
encode.
the scripting part only we have to use in the inside the CM tool only. Like a VS Code or anything, we cannot take that
We
script
can't
and
use.
run it. Okay,
Yeah, we can't use those things.
it's fine.
This is a tool, and this is the command. Definitely, I will explain you in the next session. So we will be working on these two things only. Okay, mostly until unless you're learning CM. So don't need to go anywhere. This tool is sufficient to learn CM. Any more questions?
So Jay,
No,
will this be your preferred timing for our continuous sessions? Week?
Um, I think Naveen can give you more information about that.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so probably we will be having session on weekends only, Saturday and Sunday,
Hmm.
and timings Naveen will confirm you.
Okay.
Yeah.
some concept of advance thing will be there also, right? You have any? Can you go to the
So,
advanced
so
concept anything?
yeah. So you can see this ECS, that is error correction system, aggregation. Then we have this
No,
in
no,
the
concept
workflow
of something called advanced UDR or something.
UFDL, UFDL,
UFDR.
ultra format definition language. So I will be teaching you this thing.
Okay.
This is the first topic, okay, in which we will be making our hands dirty in SAP CM. So these are just theoretical concept till topic number 3, and from here actual coding will start.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So thank you.
yeah. Most welcome, guys. Thank you for your time.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Jay.
Naveen,
See you tomorrow. Yeah.
you can conclude.
Okay. Yeah. So, so whenever you'll get the access to system, right? So Naveen will share you the RDP access, okay? Access to the remote desktop on which your CM will be installed. Okay. So you can see like he will provide you, such remote desktop. And once you log in into that system, here we are. Let me close the other steps. Okay. So you will have such a desktop. Okay. And there will be a shortcut created for you guys. You will find such icon. Okay, a blue color icon. This is the launcher application for SAP CM. Okay, this is the application we use to access the SAP CM system. Okay, now, so yesterday when I was explaining you, the architecture. Okay, let me open the diagram again. This one. So I was explaining you this diagram yesterday. Okay, so this is a architecture.
So today we will see all the zones in practical, okay? How the zones looks like. Okay. So starting with the first zone, that is access zone. So this is a place from where you will be, accessing SAP CM. Okay. So right now we are accessing our SAP CM system, from this particular window. Actually, CM system is installed on a particular IP address. Okay, I will show you that IP address. But there's a computer through which I am accessing the CM system. The CM system is installed on some remote server. Okay. Now there are three ways to access the control zone. You can see like here we have is the desktop application, then we have the CLI, as well as we have the UI, that is web, accessing through it a web browser. Okay, so let's see first how to access this software or this tool. Okay, so when I open it, it will ask me the username and password. Okay, so this username and password, Naveen will already share you this, okay, in a notepad file. So you will have a notepad file named as SAPCM. Okay, and here you will get the username and password which you can use to access this tool. But before accessing this tool, how this tool is being downloaded. Okay, whenever once you have installed SAPCM on any of the server, then how to download this tool? Will it automatically come here? No, it's not that like that. Okay, you have to download this launcher from somewhere. How now? Okay, so for that you need to go to browser. Okay, and you should definitely know the IP address of the SAPCM. Okay, so on the server on which SAPCM is being installed. Okay, so this is the IP address on which SAPCM is being installed. So let me get this IP address, and the port will be 9000. Okay, the ideal port on which SAPCM is been running is 9000. Then we need to give 1 second. Let me confirm what was the actual URL. Launch desktop launcher. So this is the documentation, official documentation, you can see, which I showed you yesterday. Okay, so installing desktop launcher. So once your CM has been installed, this is the URL which you need to hit into your browser. Okay, so to download that particular jar file or that tool. Okay, so you can see it is saying platform host. It is basically the IP address of your CM server, then the port which is ideally 9000, and then the followed by path launch desktop launcher. Okay, so let's hit this. Let me copy that path as well from here, the IP address and port. Okay, and the port is 9000 here. Okay, as soon as I hit the this URL, you will see a page here. If your CM is successfully installed and it is up and only you will be able to see this particular screen. Okay, this will change as per the system, not this port will be 9000 definitely, but this IP address will change whenever you will install the CM on different servers. Okay, so you just need to change this IP address, and rest of these things will be kept as it is, and you just need to. Now here you can see there are two things. One is the exe file and another one is jar file. Okay, so CM can be accessed using both of this what I can say, tools. Okay, so if I just click it, a exe file will be downloaded. Okay, so you can see a exe file has been downloaded just now. So let me show you that exe file. You can see this has been downloaded here. Okay, and this is a shortcut which we already have on our desktop, this one. Okay, but so as soon as I open this, you can see like everything, the server is been configured here. Okay, but when you install a fresh CM server, it won't be available here. Okay, so let me delete it and show you guys how to configure the server. Okay, so you can see the server has been deleted from here. So what we need to do, we need to click on add instance here. Okay, as soon as you click on add instance, you just need to give the IP address of your SAP CM. So my IP address is this one, and you need to give it in the host section. And name you can keep as it is, or you can give any name here. So let's give SAP CM ES expert software. Okay, and then if you're it is a secured network, then you have to click it here. Like you can see, it will use HTTPS, or if it is not secure network, you just need to uncheck it and click on save instance. So you can see it is not able to fetch binaries. This is because this is a secured connection, so I need to click on it and save instance. And you can see the server has been configured right now. Okay, and you will be whenever you will install SAP CM, okay, so there will be a user created automatically, or it will ask you the user password for the user, and the default user which will be created is MZ admin. Okay, so the first user which has been created while installing the SAP CM server is MZ admin, and from that user you can create multiple users. Okay, I'll show you how we can create multiple users. But yeah, once you install the CM server, you will automatically have the MZ admin username as well as password, and after that new users can be created. So Naveen already shared me a user to me, and he will also share your user and name and password to you. Okay, so my username is SAP CM user 14. Okay, so once you enter the username and password, just hit enter. It will take some time for the first time. Okay, whenever you configure the server first time and you provide the username and password, it will take time. Okay, so you don't, these are been already done for you. Okay, I just want you to know how these things are been coming to you um before being configured. Okay, so one server automatically, yeah, so you can see it has been successfully logged in. We are successfully logged into the server. Let me close this other instance which was already open. Yeah, there is only one CM instance. So this is the first or home page of your SAP CM tool. Okay, and here we have different buttons. Okay, we will check it in some time, but let's check the another way of accessing CM system. Okay, so this was the first way of accessing. Similarly, you can also download this jar file and hit this command, and then you can launch the CM server. So this is not preferred because we always need to trigger this command, okay, to launch the yeah, but yeah, definitely we can do it. So let me see if I have command prompt access. Okay, so you need to place this jar file at a particular path. So this is one of the way of accessing. That's it, nothing else. Even I used it only once or twice in my career, but let's check how we can do it. So users, and my user is SAP CM14. Yeah, okay, so I will place it at, let's say, can we place it at C drive? Okay, let's place it at desktop only. Yeah. And here I will open the CMD command prompt. Okay, so I have opened the command prompt on this particular path. So wherever your file is there, your you should open the command prompt there, and then you need to hit this command. Okay, so java -jar and the name of the jar file. Okay, so let me hit this and okay, so you can see SAP CM automatically started using that Java file as well. Okay, so if I show you here, you can see something, this process has been running. That's why this particular instance. So earlier you would have seen, so we have opened this particular instance using that exe file, but this new instance is running using the jar file. Okay, if I close this particular command, Okay, if I close this by pressing Control C, this will automatically get terminated. Let me show you. So Control C, done. Okay, so that particular instance stopped. So these are the two ways of running the launcher of CM. Okay, I hope it is clear to you guys. The second way of accessing SAP
One query,
CM.
Jay.
Yes, please. Yes,
So
please.
there are two options here. So the link in which the CM server is installed, that is that server address is that 192 point that one,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. This one. Yes, this
So
is the IP address.
and we have to download these two options. If we need to access it by GUI option, so either we can do it by Windows download or else the command line prompt.
Exactly. Exactly.
So all the time we have to means open that ex file. It will be
Yes.
not installed in your system.
Yeah. CM is not installed on your system. Okay. You are just accessing it using the exe file.
Like we have a Visual Studio EX also. So when we click on that one, it is installed in our machine, right? And we need to just click on that launch icon.
Yeah.
But in this case, we need to open that application all the time.
Yes.
Okay, clear.
So I won't recommend you, to use this jar option, but since it is the way to access it, so I just showed you. Okay. But it is always, convenient to use the exe file, definitely.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right.
So for a Mac system, it will not work, right?
Definitely it will work. This will work. This won't work for Mac system.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
This will work for, because this is a jar file, and jar file only requires a Java environment. If Java is installed in your system, then yes, you can access this file definitely. Okay. This command will be same for Mac as well. Sorry, this one.
All the time it will be user ID password or SSO connection also option will be there.
SSO, I guess they have recently launched, but not sure. So all the time you need to use the username and password. Okay.
Okay.
Then next way to access SAP CM is using the browser. Okay, using the browser. So let me close the browser and show you guys. So this notepad file will already have this link. Okay, this link. So you can see the IP address is same. Okay, but the port here is 9001. So 9001 is the port on which your web browser CM, you can access the CM through web browser. Okay, so the service that is called as UI. Okay, so UI is a service running behind this SAP CM server, which is allowing us to access the CM using web browser. Okay, so you need to give till here and followed by a desktop. Okay, URL path. Okay, so let me copy this and just place the URL here. You can see you are having a welcome screen here. Okay, so this is main screen for web portal. Okay, web portal of SAP CM. Again, you need to click on the same thing, the username and password here. Okay, and here's the first screen of your web portal CM. So this is the same thing. Either you can work here or you can work there. It's your choice. Okay, but there are few things or functionalities which can only be which are only available in the web portal. Okay, this has been done in MZ9. Okay, so MZ9 is the latest version. Like you can see we are working on MZ9. Okay, so till MZ8 everything was there on this application, but in MZ9 what they kept, they removed few functionalities from this particular application, and they moved it to this one, web browser. There are few functionalities like you can say git integration, which can be done, which can be only achieved using web portal, and there are few more things which I will explain you slowly. Okay, whenever we'll work. Okay, so from here also you can access the SAP CM. Okay, so this is the second way. Now the last one is third way, that is accessing it from command line. Okay, so CM is installed on some another remote server at this IP address. So we can access this IP address from our putty, okay, or any SSH tool. Okay, so there are a lot of SSH tool available in the market. Like one of the most popular tool is putty. Okay, there are another tool like Excel. We have Excel. We have Mobo Exterm as well. Okay,
Sorry, your
so
voice
here,
was break. Can you repeat that line again?
yeah, let me repeat again. So our SAP CM is installed on any remote server. Okay, so that this is the IP address of the server, and you can access the SAP CM through the command line as well. By making an SSH connection with that server. Using, so there are a lot of tools in the market through which you can access through SSH connection. One of the most popular tool is Putty. So you must have heard about this tool in your career. Putty. Okay, so so you can see we need to make an SSH connection, and here you need to give the IP address of the CRM system. Okay, anyways, I have already saved, and you can also save this. So you can just load it. So you can see this is the IP address. You don't need to change port and all, and just click on open. Okay, and it is asking us the username now. Okay, so for accessing the putty, you can't use your desktop credentials. Okay, you can't because this has some different usernames and password which is already been shared to you here. Okay, somewhere here. Okay, so this mzadmin and sapcm at the rate 1947. Okay, so these are the credentials want to use for the accessing the putty. So let me copy paste this and paste it here. Okay, so for pasting in putty, you just need to click you just need to make a right click, and it will automatically paste the copied text. So again, it is asking us a password, so let me supply the password. So I'm copying this, and I'm just making a right click, and it will be automatically pasted here. I guess I pasted the password twice. Yeah. So you can see now we have entered into the server on which SAP CM is being installed. Okay, through the command line. Okay, now you can do so many things from here as well. Okay, like you can execute some commands to start, stop the service. Okay, some monitoring things as well, you can do it. Okay, for your CM system. Okay, so we will see what we can do with the command line, okay, in future sessions. But yeah, till now like everyone is clear, like, or is it little bit confusing to you guys? I hope so not. Okay,
So command line we are not using much, right? All
yeah.
the functionalities we can do or achieve by web application or GUI application. So command line is not required at all, right?
No, it's not like that. It is not required at all. There are few things which I will. So recently, like SAP is giving the license of Convergent mediation. Okay, so they are recently they are moving to cloud. They are not allowing us to install the SAP CM on premise. Okay, so whenever you will get the CM system on cloud servers, at that time this command line will not be provided to you. They won't give you this credentials to access the server. Okay, at that time only basis guys will be having access to this. Okay, and you will be totally relying on this tool as well as the GUI. Okay, like, but I will explain you, like, why this was required earlier and why it is not much required these days. Okay, but yeah, but you can see, like, in our access zone we have three things. That is it. So CLI, you have to know, like, there is something like that, and we can use it for our things. Anyways, so this is the access zone which I showed you right now. Okay, next comes the control zone. That is basically heart of SAPCM, which I told you yesterday. This control zone. Okay, so there is a platform which is being present in the control zone. So how can you see what, like, whether your platform is there or not, or whether it is in running state or not, or whether it is in stopped state. Okay, so at that time you can just go to the command line and you can just hit a command mzsh status platform. Okay, as soon as you hit the command, it will show something. Okay, platform is running. It means your heart of CM is up and running. Okay, and yeah, you can use the CM using these tools. If your platform is not running, okay, if a platform is not running, you won't be able to use SAP CM. Let me show you. So let me bring this platform down.
Actually, your screen is bit lag. It is stopped at M.
Hmm. Is it same for all or just one way?
It is okay for me. I can see that it's moving.
Okay. Okay, let me ask Naveen, okay, from the next session to share the go-to meeting, okay, call. I guess this particular meeting call is having some issue because my network is fine. Okay, so you can say our platform got shut down. Can you see this message? Our
Yes, yes.
platform is down now. Okay, platform shutting down. Done. So now your platform is not running and you can't use this application here. You can see connection lost to platform, as well as this GUI can't even be used. You can see service interruption, connection to platform unavailable. Okay, so this confirms that our platform is been running on this particular IP address. Okay, so let me bring the platform up again. So I will write a command. So don't worry about this command. There is a special dedicated session for this commands. So to make you familiar how to use commands if you're having this CLI. So if you got access to this CLI, okay, then you will be having full control on your CM. Okay, I will explain why I'm saying these things later. Okay. So it is again starting the service, platform service. So as soon as a platform gets up, this particular GUI will be able, you will be able to access the GUI as well as this tool as well. Okay. Yeah, it is done. As soon as it is done, you can see desktop has successfully re-established the connection to the platform. So yeah, now you can use it again. Same at the UI as well. Connection to the platform has been restored. Now you can use it. Okay. So this is the control zone has been installed on this particular IP only. Okay. So you can see architecture. Just try to correlate this architecture with our server. So just now I showed you this platform, okay, or this control zone. Now execution zone. I told you yesterday that your control zone and execution zone can be on the same IP address or can be. So for explaining this, let me open Notepad++. Okay. So you can see our control zone is running currently on this particular IP address, or our platform is running on this IP address, right? I said our execution zone can be on the same IP address, or it can be on the different IP address, or it can be on a different machine or a different computer. Anything can be referred instead of server, a computer, a machine, okay, a server, all the same. Okay, so for this particular system, our execution zone is also installed on the same server. Okay, on the same IP address, our execution zone or execution server is all been installed. Why so? Because this is just a test environment. Okay, the load will be very little. Okay, and one system is capable of handling the control zone as well as execution zone. But in actual projects, when you have huge load, okay, at that time you can move this execution zone on different IP address, or you can also create multiple execution zone. Okay, execution zone 1, execution zone 2, and this is on different IP address. So you can see this is a control zone, and these execution zones are on different IPs now here, and they both are pointing to the same control zone. I'll explain you why this, like what is the pointing here, what I'm telling, and what is the connection between these two. Okay, very soon. But yeah, so how can you verify that your control zone is also installed on this server, or let's say it is installed on some another server? How can you know like this is my execution zone now? Okay, so to know that, you just need to add this command mz as a status. Okay, if you put this command, okay, then you will see some services running. So you can see there is a service which is platform is running, is shown here. Why it is shown here? Because this is a control zone, that's why platform is running, it is showing there. As well as it is showing the EC1, EC2. So there are two small ECs created. Okay, if I show you this one, execution context, you can see this one as well as this one. So we have created two execution contexts. So there is EC1 and EC2, also it is showing the same on the same server. It means the execution zone is also installed on the same server. If it is only execution zone, then you won't see this message platform is running, because platform is installed on some another server or another machine. Okay, so you will only see this particular message for the execution zones only, or execution context only. Okay, so don't get confused into this. Okay, for server we have execution zone and control zone on the same server. Okay, but in future, okay, whenever you will get a chance to work on real-time projects, you will be having different IP address for the platform and different IP address for the execution context. Okay, yeah, and you can see the UI service is running here. Okay, if I just stop this service, okay, let's say mzsh shutdown, and if I just click UI here, okay, you will see that whatever is running here, it will get stopped. Okay, so shutting down UI and done. So you can see the connection to this portal has been lost now. Okay, so this portal is you are able to access this portal using this service, UI service. Okay, so it is now run, and if I again give the command mz status, it will show UI is not running. Okay, you can see UI is not running, and you won't be able to access this particular portal. Okay, so sometimes if you will be not able to access this portal here, then definitely you need to check this particular service is up and running or not. If it is not running, then you have to make it up. Okay, so let me start this service again. UI, so it will trigger the startup for this service. So starting UI, done. Okay, now if I refresh it, you can see connection to this UI is again restored. Okay, so I explained you practically, okay, about this three zones: access zone, control zone, and execution zone. But I haven't explained you the functionality of this control zone and execution yet. Okay, so I will explain you. Let's deep dive into our tool now first, and then I will come to execution zone, how execution zone looks like, and what role it has for our services. Okay, so this is the first page for our tool. If I click on this particular button, you will see there are a lot of folders already been created. Whenever you will install a fresh CM, you will only have two folders. One is the default folder and another one is system task folder. Okay, so default folder will be empty, and system task will have some task workflows. Okay, for maintaining the system. So there are a few task workflow. I will explain you this whenever we will see the task workflow topic. But yeah, so now first step, I would recommend you to create your own folder. Okay, new folder. So you can see there is no button right now here to create a new folder. But if I right click here, you can see an option for new folder. So you create your own folder and place all the practice data into that folder. Okay. Yeah. So this will have all the configurations. Everything is configuration. Okay. We call everything as configuration. Whatever you can see here, these all are configurations. Okay. These all are configurations. Okay. So don't confuse when I say configuration. In CM everything is configuration. So these are the folder structures you will see. Okay. And we will create configurations into this folders. Okay, again I'm referring configuration. We will whatever the files we create, okay, those will be termed as configurations only. Okay, that's fine. So this is a browser. We call it browser. So don't get confused whenever I see. I will tell you, oh, let's open the browser. It doesn't mean we will open this browser. Okay, if I'm in CM, then definitely I'm talking about this browser. Okay, there. The next, but so you can see here button. Let me explain this. You can search and filter if you want to. In actual project there will be so many folders and files. Okay, and there will be subfolders as well. You can see here. So there are subfolders as well inside. So if you want to search or filter out something, definitely you can check out these two buttons and write something here. So let me search something. Let's say API. Do we have anything? No, it is not showing. Then let's say WB. That is not showing anything. Anyways, this is not working actually properly. Let's say ULF. So you can see as soon as I click this ULF, it is showing these things now. Okay, in wherever we have, in whichever folder we have this ULF, it will only expand this folders. Okay, so if you want to collapse it, we can collapse it and move to the next buttons. So if you want to expand all the folders and subfolders, you can just click on it and it will automatically expand all the folders and subfolders. You can see. Okay, so whenever you make a change or create a new configuration, sometimes those are not reflected in this folder, like they are been created, but it is not shown here. Okay, or not displayed here. At that time you can just click on this refresh button and everything will be refreshed and new data will be shown here to you. Okay, then history. Let's say if someone is deleting something or restoring anything, those will be what I can say, shown in the history tab. If any configuration is been deleted by someone, so you can see these configurations were been deleted by someone. Okay, so configuration was deleted. Okay, here as well you can see it was deleted and deleted. If you want to restore it, you can just click on it and you can just click on this restore button. It will be again shown into your folder. Okay, so enough about this browser tab. Let's explore some another tab. So configuration, one of the
So that
most
history
important
will
tab here.
be, how
Yes,
long it
please.
will be there? That history will be, how long
uh,
time it will be there?
well, I don't exactly know how long it will stay here, because this is recently introduced in MZ9. It was not introduced in MZ. So you can see it is like already 1 month is already been passed here, I guess. Almost 3 months. So even I'm not sure, okay, exactly the time frame it will store the history. Okay, anyways,
Fine.
yeah, but this is not much important. There is one more history which I will show you, okay, which will maintain the code repositories. That is more important. Yeah, so the next button is configuration button, one of the most important and widely used in CM. It will be used to create new files, workflows, profiles. There's so many things, okay, which will be creating. Okay, not all displayed here, but yeah, widely used files. So you can see we have here so many things to create. So like configuration means what, like you need to supply values inside those. So if I show you, let me walk you throughout all the configuration and explain you what are the mm, what I can say, roles and responsibilities of each of this configuration. Okay, so 5G profile. Whenever you want to work in telecom industry, okay, or telecom billing projects, at that time this 5G profile will be used. Okay, so I'm not sure, like, in India, any other telecom provider are using this, because this is the latest thing, okay, which was being introduced. So this is purely, related to 5G, okay, 5G billing. So we won't be using this, okay. Aggregation profile. So yesterday in the topic section, I was explaining, like, we will see something aggregation which has already been CI, and we can achieve same thing in CM as well. So yeah, this is used to achieve that one. Okay. Alarm. Alarm is, something which is used to trigger alarm. Okay, it will show some alarm, like, let's say there is a workflow is running, okay, for the time, okay, which is unusual. Okay, let's say ideally it takes 5 minutes to execute, but it is taking more than 5 minutes, then you can just trigger an alarm for that. Okay, or your EC memory is full, or EC got down. Okay, so in this case you can generate alarms. Okay, so you can see, you can create new alarms and all. Okay, so we'll see this, okay, in detail whenever we will check this. But yeah, I just want to explain you what are all these things are. Amazon profile, I personally never use this, but yeah, definitely it would be something related to AWS. So yeah, whenever you want to access the AWS, so AWS some access keys and secret key which you will get from AWS. So, and you need to select the region, like it is a north region, or there are so many regions if you must be knowing for AWS. So you can choose that and use it. And this profile is also helpful whenever you want to push your code on AWS S3 bucket. Okay, at that time we can use this profile, definitely. Then next is APL code. This is the place where we will be, writing the code. So there are only 2-3 places, okay, in SCP configuration where we will be putting our own code. Okay, so you can see here we have a blank, page like a notepad. So we will be putting our code here. Okay, this is one of the file. So let me note down here the place where we'll putting the code. So one is APL code. Okay, so this is the place we will be adding the code logic. Then what is else? APL collection strategy. This is the this configuration is basically used to implement collection strategy. Now, what exactly is a collection strategy? Okay, so whenever you will be collecting the data in the form of files, okay, from the server, so there are been strategies used to collect the data. Okay, in which form you want to collect the data. Let's say you are receiving the data, okay, from somewhere, and that data is being stored in a dynamic folder structure. Okay, let's assume, what is today's date? It is 7, or let's say 2025 0709, and let's say my folder, and we have file here, and tomorrow you will get the data in something like this. Okay, so this folder structure is not static. Okay, you can't collect the data from this folder structure every time, because every time you will be getting a new folder name. Okay, so how will handle that if you want to read the data from a particular folder on the server? At that times, this collection strategy will be helpful. Okay, APN profile, I'm not sure, I never use it. Archive profile, this is important. So whenever you want to store some, in batch mediation I'm talking about. So whenever you will be, dealing with files, or you will be processing the files, okay, usually the files are being removed from the server, okay, once they are being processed. Why so? So that you don't, process the same file again. Okay, to avoid the processing of the same file, we are basically removing that file once it is been processed. But what if you want to access, or you want to see the data which was being processed in the future? Okay, so this could be a scenario or use case when you want to backtrack things. Okay, let's say tomorrow client is saying that there is some inconsistency, okay, at CI level or CC level. Then as a CM consultant, we have to check what data was being interfaced, whether it was correct or not. Okay, at what time it was being interfaced. So the data was removed, then how you will see? So archiving will help you to data for temporary basis. Okay, so if I open it, you can see remove entries after certain number of days. So it will store the data, okay, for certain number of days for you, and it will automatically remove it. The maximum number of days you can store is 365. Okay, so archiving, it is a general concept. Okay, for some at some different place for your future reference, and after that period of time you will think that, okay, I don't need this data, it should be removed now, my memory should be freed up. So in this case we will be using archiving. Okay, audit profile. So audit profile or auditing is a concept which is being used to check the data. Like, let's say you processed 100 records in a data. Okay, let's say you are processing the file. Okay, and you're processing the data now, okay, using your CM system. Now, out of 100 record, some record were valid, some were invalid, some were duplicates, some went to CC, some didn't, some got success response, some got error response. But at the end you should know how much records were being processed, how much went here, how much went here. So you should be able to reconcile. Otherwise your actual files will be having thousands of records, okay, and you won't be able to identify where your records were splitted. So auditing will help you to um show you things visually. Okay, so what we'll do, we will store the count of the records, okay, or the file which was being processed, okay, in the database, okay, inside a database, so that in the future if you want to see, okay, what data was being processed, okay, so you can see that into your database, like what was the name of the file, at what time it was processed, how many records were there in the file, how many were the valid records, how many were the invalid records, what was the total record count, how many records went were considered as duplicates, okay, how many records were the erroneous record. So those things can be stored in your database. Okay, Azure Key Vault, I definitely don't know. Azure profile, I guess it is used to connect with the Azure cloud, just like we can connect with AWS. Same way we can also connect with Azure cloud, but I never used this. I never used conditional trace. Okay, so conditional trace is a tool which is used for debugging purpose, okay, an advanced debugging purpose, and I will show you maybe in one of the sessions in future. And it is only used for real time, testing, for testing of real time mediation systems or real time workflows. Okay, one second. All right, Couchbase profile. So Couchbase is a special database, and if you want to connect to the Couchbase database, you can configure credentials of the Couchbase. So you can see bucket name, user, password, and everything. You can put down it here, and you will be able to connect to Couchbase database. Let me show you. So it already came here, Couchbase database. Okay, so it's just a database. Okay, it's a distributed NoSQL, just like we have MySQL, Postgres, Mongo. This is one of the special database. Okay, and if you want to connect it, then you can use this particular configuration and put all the things which have been required for establishing the connection, and then you can establish the connection with the Couchbase database. Then I never used this, not this as well, not this. Database profile, one of the most important and widely used profile. Why? To make the database connectivity. Now you will think like, okay, we already have this particular profile for making the database, then why we need this profile? So this particular Couchbase profile is only specific to Couchbase database. If you want to establish connection with Couchbase database, then only you have to use it. But if you want to establish connection with a general database, okay, so there is a list given here, like DB2, Nearby, HP Vertica, MariaDB, MySQL, NetApp, Postgres, Redshift, SAP HANA DB, Snowflake, SQL Server, Sysbase IQ, Teradata, Timestamp. Okay, so these are the list of servers, database providers through which you can establish the connection. So if your project is using any of this database, then definitely you have to use this profile. So if I click any of them, let's say SAP HANA, then you can see you just need to give the database name, host or IP address, port number, username, password, and then you need to click on this try connection. If your database is up and running, then definitely you will see a message connection successful. Okay, so this is one of the most important profile, okay, which we'll be using. And we have a session for this as well, database connectivity. Okay, in this session I'll be explaining you this configurations in detail. Then which profile diameter, it is specific to telecom industry. So whenever you want to collect the data from network nodes in real time, we need to go for diameter protocol. That's a AAA protocol which is being used for collecting the data in real time scenarios. Duplicate batch proof. I never use the distributed storage profile. So duplicate batch profile. So let's say you are processing files. Okay, let's say you are processing files, your mediation system is processing files. So if you want to know, like, if same file is again been processed, then it should be treated as duplicate, and it should not be sent to next agents or next process. So at that time you can use this configuration, which will stop the workflow to process the same file again. Basically not allow the workflow to process the same file again. Okay, so on what basis it will decide now, like whether it is a duplicate or not. So CRC means cyclic redundancy check. So you can Google it, what is CRC. So CRC is a mechanism, okay, in through which basically concept. So CRC is what the entire data will be taken, and a unique number will be created from that data. Okay, and it will be stored into CM's memory. Okay, and whenever a new file will come, it will again calculate the value, and if that value is been present in CM server, then it will treat as a duplicate. Now till how many days CM will store that value? So that is being configured here. Okay, same for the byte count. It will basically count the bytes in a file. Okay, and it will store the value, and if this again the same file is coming and it matches the byte count, then it will consider the duplicate file. Okay, so this is very helpful, and I'll show you, okay, whenever we'll create. So we have a session for duplicate detection in CM, so I will show you in that. Similarly, duplicate UDR. Okay, so the topic which we just discussed before this profile was duplicate batch. It means if an entire file is duplicate, but in a file there could be few records which have been repeated again, and if you want to detect them and you don't want to process them, this particular configuration will help you to achieve that. Okay, so I'll explain you in that topic only, duplication detection in CM. Next one is Elasticsearch. I never use encryption. This also I never use. Event notification. Let's say you want to generate events. What kind of events you want to generate now? Let's say email event is an event. Okay, let's say, so in projects, okay, in most of the project, what kind of event they is configure. So let's say your workflow is getting aborted, then you should automatically get a mail. Okay, so this is an event which has been triggered at when a specific condition is met. So event is something which has been done on a particular condition. Okay, let's say your CM goes down. At that time you want to generate an event, kind of that. Your memory has been risen. At that time you want to generate an event. Okay, let's say you're doing something and that task has been successful. At that time you want to generate an email, or you want to create a file and store some information. That is also an event. Okay, so this profile will, I'm talking something what is profile. Okay, so I'll tell you what exactly I mean by profile. So you can see we can create the mail event or system log. You can report the things in system log. I'll show you what exactly system log. And you want to create a log file, or you want to enter something into database. Okay, so this can be configured here. Then what are the next things? External reference profile. This is very important. I will show you. And like basically there are some static values or configurations which we don't maintain in CM, okay, on this desktop into some file, external file, and those will be used in the runtime. So you must have heard, like we if you have very little knowledge about Java development, then they use something called as property, okay, in which they maintain the database username and password or IP address or some other static data which will be used. So why we want to store such information outside our server or outside this system? Because those might get updated in future, and it is not a good practice to store those information here, like IP address, passwords, username, okay, because they can be updated sometime, and we don't want to come into the system and manually update here. So those will be stored somewhere else and will be retrieved in CM in runtime. So this particular profile will help you to do that. Okay, so I'll explain you that as well. Then what we have more, external level file system profile, very important, and it was been recently introduced. Like whenever you want to push the code on GitHub or AWS or HDFS or GCP storage, you need to use this particular configuration. So you can see if you choose the Git here, then it will ask the GitHub provider which GitHub. So there are three GitHub provider: GitHub, Bitbucket, and GitLab. And then you need to just give the username, token, and repository URL. If you want to push your code on AWS S3, then you can see it is asking us the access key, secret key, region, bucket. Or else apart from this, you can use an Amazon profile, okay, which we saw in the beginning, the first profile, I guess, second, this one, Amazon profile. So you can create this profile and use it here. Okay, so you just need to import this profile and it will. So I have already created for my testing, so that's why it is showing here. Okay, so you can choose it. So instead of maintaining this thing here, those are already been maintained in AWS profile. So you can see here. Okay, access key, secret key, region, those are been already maintained. So we can just import that configuration here and use them for pushing the code on AWS. Okay, so this is a use of file system profile. Then GCP profile, I don't know, I never used it, but yeah, it is for sure used for making the connection with Google's cloud. Okay, so never used it. Okay, but yeah. So remember, a project will not use all the configuration. They will only use the configurations which are suitable for the business requirement. Okay, if it's a telecom project, then definitely you will find the diameter or 5G profile there. Okay, if it is a cloud project, or let's say there is a cloud establishment connection, cloud connection establishment, then definitely you will see Azure or AWS or just GCP profiles. Okay, if you are using Kafka, okay, you are getting the data from Kafka, then only you will see the Kafka being used in your project. Okay, so then apart from that, inter workflow profile, this is an advanced concept which is used to connect flows. I'll explain you. Okay, we have a special dedicated session for this. JMS profile, what if you want to collect the data from Java messaging service? Okay, so it is a queue, asynchronous queue. You must have heard about RabbitMQ or ActiveMQ. So these are just queues from which we can collect the data. Okay, so you can see connection factor name it is asking and destination name, and then we can supply those things and we are ready to collect the data from those queues. Then Kafka profile. So you can see it has been deprecated. One is the deprecated one and another one is a new one. Okay, so Kafka profile, you must have heard about something called as Kafka. So Kafka is used for asynchronous communication. Okay, when you, or you can use Kafka for collecting the data from the streams. Okay, when you have a huge set of data, okay, at that time people prefer Kafka. So whatever the streaming service you see these days, like let's say they're using IPL streaming. Okay, so Hotstar or Geo Hotstar is using providing the service of streaming. So they're internally using Kafka. So Kafka is just a tool which will give you the data from somewhere. Okay, so but when your CM wants the data, from the Kafka. At that time, we'll be using the Kafka profile. API I never used. Open API, it is something related to APIs. Okay. So it is basically used for implementing, structures for the API in which the communication will be done. This I never use. Prometheus, yeah, this is not used widely, but yeah, few of the projects use Prometheus for checking the data in statistic. Okay, so like, what if you don't want to, like, your project is running, okay, and you want to just monitor things now, okay, what services are being running into your CM system, what is the speed, what is the time being taken, okay. So all these things you want to see in graphical representation. At that time you can use Prometheus. Okay, so Prometheus will show you, statistics, data in the form of statistics in a graphical representation. Prometheus can be, further integrated with Grafana to show things, to display things in charts and bar graph or something like that. Okay, at that time. Python interpreter profile. Whenever you want to use Python code inside your CM, at that time you need to, use this Python interpreter. It is not mandatory to, create a Python interpreter when it is used. You can install multiple Python interpreter. Okay, so let's say you are installing Python 3.6, Python 3.11, Python 3.9, something like that. Okay, different Pythons. At that time you can use this interpreter, but yeah, it is not mandatory because we have some another configuration for Python which I will be showing you. Python module, I didn't use it yet, but definitely I will use it for testing purpose and just to know this. Redis profile. So just like we have Couchbase database, we also, so if you have heard about Redis database, yeah. So this is symbol for Redis database, one unique icon. It is used for, faster retrieval. Okay, it is using some cache mechanism inside it. So depending upon the project scenarios, they might be using Redis database. And if your CM wants to get the data from that Redis database, then you have to use this profile where it is. You can't use the database profile, okay, which I shown you earlier. This one. So they are, shown here alphabetically. Okay, so database. So definitely I need to go up and start with D. So here it is. So here you won't find Redis. Okay, so if you want to connect to the Redis database, then there is a special dedicated profile for it. You just need to give the username, host, password, and the rest configuration, and you are ready to go to connect your CM system with the Redis database. Okay. So we have two, special database. One is the Redis and another one is Couchbase, for which we are maintaining dedicated profile. REST database can be, connected using database profile. Then what we have more? This I never used. This is all. This has been deprecated now. This I didn't use yet. Share table profile. So it is also used to, connect the CM system for database, but for a particular use case. I will explain you later what is the use of this share table profile. Then apart from this, what we will be using? Ultra format. This one. This is the next topic. Okay, so if you will see in third, a detailed explanation of UFDL. So this is the language, okay, which will be used for encoding and decoding purpose, and the place where we need to code, where we need to write this language is this ultra format. So this is also like, as a plain page like notepad, and we will be writing our code here of the ultra format definition language only. So we'll be putting here only ultra format definition language. So this is a place where we will also put the code. Okay, so let me note down it here, ultra format. But so what kind of code we will put here? We will put here APL code or analysis programming language code, and here we will put UFDL code. So these two things are, for a separate purpose. Then what we have more here? Unit test. This feature is been introduced in MZ9. So till MZ8, this feature was not there. Unit testing is a testing framework which was been created by CM unit testing using Python language. Okay, so if you want to perform some unit testing of your workflows or system, then definitely you need to use this. And for this we need to write code in Python. So till now even I haven't implemented it. I'm learning it. Okay, I'm in learning phase for this. So if maybe if I able to learn this before our session or before our batch ends, then definitely I will explain you basics of this. So there are very few organizations or few companies who are using this unit testing feature, because it was introduced a year back only, and people are not aware about this much. Then workflow, one of the most important and widely used, and we'll be working on this only. Okay, workflow is your CM system. Okay, so sometimes I will be referring um, workflow or mediation system. Okay, so these two things are same. Okay, mediation system or a small mediation system or a mediation service as well. Okay, so these all things are same. That is basically your workflow. A workflow itself is a mediation system in itself, a small mediation system. Okay, so it is having three types: batch, real time, and task. I will explain you these things while in, I guess, fourth session, in which we will be discussing what are the types of workflows. Not fourth, yeah, third session, sorry. In the next session, detailed explanation of the type of the workflows. Okay, and what are the agents and all. So we have something called as agents here. So I'll explain you this in the next session. Okay, in the next weekend. Then what we have, I guess, workflow bridge and workflow group. Yeah, workflow bridge, it is just like inter workflow. I explained that it is used for connecting two workflows. So same thing is for workflow bridge as well. So this is also used for connecting two workflows. So they both are serving the same purpose, but the implementation strategy is different. The use cases are different in which we need to use inter workflow or workflow bridge. Then we have workflow group. What is the use of this workflow group? Workflow group is used to what I can say, club multiple workflows into a group. Sorry, club or place workflows into a single group. Now why you want to place multiple workflows in a group? Because in projects you will be having different services. Service, I can different service can be maintained across different folders. Let's say you are working in a telecom project. Okay, so one folder can be only responsible for handling call usage. One folder will be handling only data service usage. One folder will be dedicated for SMS. So it will hold the workflows for this service. Okay, and whenever you want to run, so there could be multiple workflows dedicated for a single. Okay, and you want to run them together. Okay, you want to control them together. At that time workflow group will be used. Okay, then WS profile. So whenever you're working in a web service environment, at that time you need to use a web service profile. So if you know a little bit about CC and CI, so CC is using some web services for onboarding customer, for creating a charge request as well. So whenever you want to deal with web services, then you can use this. You need to import some WSDL files and XSD files, and then you can use the profiles. So all these configurations I walk you throughout. Now there are few things. For the some configuration they have written a profile. Okay, why it is written as profile and what is the significance of this profile? Wherever you see profiles, okay, those configuration cannot work independently. Okay, this configuration will be used by someone. Okay, just like let me explain you. For example, database profile. Okay, so let me show you create already created database profile. So this is the database profile which has been created, and I have connected with Postgres SQL server. Okay, so this is the database. If I click on try connection, and you can see connection test was successful. It means our database is up and running now. But what is the use of this connection? We can just, I want to read the data from the database. That is my task. That's why I'm connecting CM with the database. because sometimes we will be required to get the data from database for our business needs. Okay, those scenarios and use case I will be explaining whenever we will see the database connectivity. But for now, I just want to tell that this connection will be just used to connect the database, but my actual task is to read the data from the database. Okay, so that reading part will be done by some workflow. Okay, and that workflow will be using this profile. Okay, that workflow will be using this profile. If I want to show you how, then let me see if there is something. I'll say this one. So this is a simple workflow. Okay, don't go into the details. I just want to show you. You can see there is a section here, database, and we need to browse the profile here. Okay, so whichever folder has the database profile, it will list down it here, and you can choose it. Okay, so what I want to tell you is wherever there is a profile suffix written in the configuration, those configuration will be used by someone else. Okay, they can't work independently. They don't have significance of their own independently. Okay, so just like, but if you will see the APL code, there is the APL code or ultra format, you can see there is no profile suffix. So this is not imported by some agents. Okay, we will write it and we will use it somehow. Okay, I will explain you that in next session or future session. But these are not profile. This will not be imported the way I showed you for database profile. Okay, they have their own significance. Okay, so yeah, these are the two things I wanted to tell you, profile things. Yeah, so this button is done. We took a long time, but yeah, it is important for you to understand what exactly are been this configuration, what is the purpose. Okay, but now the question is how I know about all this configuration. Did I use them all in the projects? Definitely not. Okay, I haven't used all this configuration which I just explained you verbally. So how I will get the information for any of the profile? Okay, let's say if I want to know about duplicate batch profile. Okay, so I can just go on documentation. Now if you say, okay, I don't remember the link of the documentation, so there is a button here, book button here. Okay, and if I hover it, you can see there is a documentation shown here. If I click it, it will automatically open into my browser. Official documentation is here for you. Okay, once again. So I want to search duplicate. One second, right? Yeah. So duplicate, DUPLICAT, duplicate batch profile. Okay, so you can see they have given it version wise. So this is the latest version, MZ 9.4. So I guess they made some enhancement, like they're releasing like 9.4.0.1, 9.4.0.2, something like that. That's why for every release they are maintaining different documentation. So let's go with the latest. So we are using 9.3 right now. Okay, but yeah, you can go with the latest as well. So here you will see all the information about that configuration, how to use it, how to configure values, what is the significance of this particular max cache size has been written. So they have given the description here. Enter the number of days you want to give the batch in database. Okay, so everything will be written here. Okay, and this is the place from where you will be learning. So use this as much as possible. Okay, this is the Bible for SAP CM. Okay, I completely learned CM from this documentation only. Okay, by reading this information from here and trying to implement on our actual system. So this is the way you will learn. Okay, don't just rely completely on the session. There might be some information which I might miss or I may think while teaching like this is not important, but here you will get the detailed information. Okay, then so this is how you can know about all the configuration present in SAP CM. Okay, you can just go to documentation and just search, let's say file system profile. If I search here file system profile, so it will give me the suggestions. So let's choose the latest one, and here we go. Okay, so you can see they are given information about this, like it can be used for Git integration and all. You can see if you want to use Git, if you want to use AWS into this, if you want to use GCP or HDFS, you can go to this section. So file system type Git. So if you want to integrate data or if you want to send data on Git, then what all things you need to fill into this boxes. Those informations are being given here. Okay, so this is how you should access the documentation as well. Okay, so this is done. Then this one, inspection. Inspection, it means it is a tool. Okay, these are the tools here to inspect few data. Now what kind of data you will be inspecting? Let's say you are implementing the UDR detection, duplicate record detection. It means, let's say you are working with files and you want to know how many records were duplicates. Okay, then your system will automatically filter out the duplicate records. Okay, let's say in a file of 100 records, 10 records were duplicate, then those will not be processed further. But you want to see visually which were the records which went for duplicates. So at that time you can use this inspector. It will show you the duplicates which were detected by the system here. Okay, then ECS, error correction system. So whenever you are working with error correction system, which is basically used for reprocessing or detecting errors in your data, and if whatever you want to do, you can do it later. But yeah, this will show you the ECS data or error correction data. Okay, here. So let me show you some of the data which was being sent to ECS. So you can see a lot of data is there here. Okay, entire batch is being sent to error correction system. Okay, so this is how you can visually see these things here. Okay, then so here you can see only 3 things are there, but there are few more inspectors which are not available in this desktop application, but you can view them here in this portal. So let me log in. Then the admin SAP CM user. So same credentials you need to enter here, whichever we used for accessing our desktop application. Okay, CM. Make sure to remember the password and save your password somewhere, because if you tried wrong password thrice, the account will be locked and you need to ask admin to unlock it up. Okay, so yeah, so whatever we saw in the application, same thing is available here. So if I click on build, this build is equivalent to your browser. Okay, so whatever we had here in the browser application, this one. Okay, whatever we see here in the browser, same thing will be seen in build here. Okay, you can see the same folder structure, same configurations are being available here, right? You can see the same things here available. Okay, and now if you want to create a new configuration, like whatever the configuration tab we saw here. Okay, so this tab here is this one, new configuration. If I click here, you can see all these profiles and configurations are shown here, the same configurations. Okay, so if I choose any one of them, you can see the APL code in which we'll be putting our code is available here. Okay, and you can create and save this configuration here as well. Okay, so this was about this is the UI part, and yeah, the important one is tools which we were discussing. Okay, so if you will see this duplicate batch inspector, no, not duplicate batch, duplicate UDR inspector, it is present here as well as here. Okay, as well as ECS inspector. If you see ECS inspector is available there as well as, you know, maybe VCS inspector. No, I guess they have removed it from here. Anyways, we have more inspector like duplicate batch. If you want to know, batch here I'm terming for now is file. Okay, if I'm saying something called as batch, then you consider a file. Okay, but there are a few, you know, different batches as well, which I will explain you later. But for now, just consider a file as batch. Okay, so if you want to know whether a file was duplicate or not, or which file, let's say you process 10 files at a time, and out of those 2 files were duplicate, you want to see which 2 files are duplicate, then this particular inspector will tell you. Then apart from this, which else I use? Archive inspector. Whenever a file is been archived, okay, like which files were been archived, so you can see those archiving data here. After how many days will remove, they will be removed, will shown here. Aggregation inspector. So whenever you're using aggregation into a system, so the data is being stored in something called as sessions. Okay, so those sessions will be listed out here. So we'll see this whenever we'll use aggregation. Okay, so these were all the tools which can be used. Okay, inspection tools, we call it inspection tools. Okay, then we have something called as tool section, general tools. Okay, what kind of tools we have? Access controller. This is the place where we create new users. Okay, so you can see there are so many users which are already been created here. Okay, and what are the rights you want to give to a particular user? So you can see like you can just click on execute and write. So there are two things. Okay, so and we can also create groups as well. Let's say you want to create a group for tester, developer, and admin. 3 groups, let's assume. So you want to give all the rights to administrator. For tester, you just want to, you know, give the rights to only execute. Execute means what? They can just view and run the workflows. Okay, but they're not allowed to make any changes. They are not allowed to save changes. So at that time, you can just give execute rights and just disable the, you know, write access from here. Okay, now if you will just, you know, see, let's assume file system. There is the file system ef, yeah. So let's say you want to just give the read access to it, so user can only read, but you don't want to make, you know, you don't want them to, you know, update the things into that. So you can just disable it, and yeah, he will not be able to, you know, now make the changes into the configuration. He will just able to see what is there, what is things configured, but he will not be allowed to change. So whatever the control on users you want to make, you can use this particular, you know, tool to achieve that. Then
And can we see your user ID here, Jay?
yes,
And let's say if it is locked, is this the section where you can unlock as an admin in case if you have
so
access?
my user is this one.
Okay.
So you can see here we have validity period as well. So once this validity period is being ended, the user won't be able to log in into the system. Okay, so yeah, and if you want to
And this
reset
is under configurations, right? Or
tools.
tools?
Can you
Okay.
go to that advanced tab?
Yeah, so here we have more things like, you know, enable automatic unlocking of a user. If it is checked, then, you know, you the user will be
Like
automatically
a security policy.
yes, exactly. Yeah. So usually, you know, admin will be handling all these things. It won't be given to everybody. Okay, in actual projects. So apart from this configuration difference, this is basically tool to, you know, check difference between two configurations. Like let's say we have created one ultra file today, and tomorrow you made some changes, and now you want to know the difference between the, you know, these two files. Okay, what is the exact difference between these two versions of code? So at that time you can use. So let me show you. Let's say mm, db my ultra. Okay. So this is, you know, some code which has been written. Don't worry, I'll just show how to write this. Then I just want to know, like you can see there are histories maintained here. Okay, what do you mean by history? Whenever I will save, you know, some code changes, a new history will be created. Okay, so in SAP CM, we maintain code repository in the desktop itself. Okay, so you can see this is a history here, latest history, and if I click on it, some if there were some changes here, those will be listed here. Okay, so let me click on this and let me choose the same configuration here as well. It is just inbuilt tool for beyond compare. You must have used it beyond compare, right? For comparing the difference between two files. So same is in there is an inbuilt feature which has been provided by CM, and those will be highlighting the code changes areas. So you can see these changes are new in this file which are not been, so they are automatically been highlighted. So whenever you want to check the difference between the two versions of the code, at that time you can use this particular tool. Okay, to know what are the changes in this version and this version. Okay, so you can you can check the difference for two files. One is the APL code and another one is ultra file. Okay, but yeah, to be honest, I never used it. I totally rely on beyond compare. Then documentation generator I never used. EC groups, so this is something related to ECs. I will be explaining whenever we will work with the workflows. Encrypt password, sometimes you want to store password in encrypted format, and MZ has its own encryption method. So let's say if I am giving my name here, okay, and I want to know the encrypted text for this name, then I can just click on the generate button and I will get this encrypted form here. Okay, I'll explain you when should we use it. Let's say you want to use a database, you want to store the database passwords and all. At the time we don't save the passwords in a plain text format. Okay, instead we will store it in encrypted format. So this is the use of the encryption, this tool. Then execution manager, this will tell all the information about the workflows. What are the current running workflows? So you can see these are the running workflows. Okay, so these are workflows which are been running right now. Okay, in running state, on which ECs they're running on EC1, and whether the debug is turned on, what was the start time, who has started this workflows and all. Okay, all information you will get here. Okay, and if the workflows are starting or stopping, those information will be given in the overview tab. So let me stop this workflow for now. Okay, and you will see that information in the overview. Yeah, so you can see workflow has been stopped. Okay, and there was something else which has been associated with the group, so you won't understand because we haven't seen groups for now. But yeah, this information, what are the workflows starting in the our mediation system, what are the workflows which are stopping, someone has triggered it manually, the some workflows are automatically started by some groups, and all those will be shown here. And this section is for the groups, workflow groups. Okay, so if you want to enable or disable, or those things can be controlled from here. Okay, so I'll be explaining you this section whenever I will teach you workflow groups. Okay, then Pico Weaver, let's see this. So right now, how many Picos. So sometimes these ECs are, referred as Picos as well. Okay. So right now, these are the running, like platform is running, then UI is running, service context is running, ECs are running. So there are two ECs in the system. Okay. So these are the ECs which have been running. Then this Python manager. Okay, so yeah, so you must, I told you, like, you don't need to use a Python interpreter until and unless you are not maintaining different versions of Python. Okay, so you can list the Python here and the path here. Okay, so yeah, you can check this default and you don't need to configure any Python interpreter separately. This will be used across your entire CM system. So whenever you want to use Python in your ECM system, at that time you need to configure this Python here. It will not be by default configured for you. You need to give the path of the Python where it is been installed. Okay. Now, when to use Python, that is totally depending upon your use case. Like few of the use case can't be achieved by the inbuilt CM functionalities. At that time, we need to go for Python. Then what else? System exporter and system importer. So this is the way we move the code changes from one environment to another environment. So this is the tool which is used to export our code. Okay, and this is the tool which has been used to import our code from somewhere. Now whenever now I talked about Git and AWS and all, so we can use, you can see this file system profile you need to choose if you want to push your code on Git or AWS or GCP. Okay, or if you want to store it on your local system in a form of zip, then you can just click on whatever the configuration you want to export, and then click on this browse button, and here you can see this is the local system, my local system, my Windows system. Okay, wherever you want to save, and just click on the export button, the file will be stored in the zip format. Okay, so this is totally used for exporting the code, and this is used for importing the code. Let's say you want to import the code in your system, the new code. Okay, so whenever we are making the code movement, at that time we'll be using system exporter and import. So again, if let's say if you want to pull the code from GitHub or somewhere else, then you need to use this. Excuse me. So yeah, this is used for
If I like to promote code to quality, right? So
yeah.
let's say I created a workflow. So the whole, what do you call, the folder itself, can we move the whole folder from dev to quality using these two
Yes,
tools?
yes,
Okay.
definitely. So if I show you,
But if you want to only push the selective folder or selective workflow, then in
yeah,
that case,
yeah, we can check that. I'll show you. So this is the recent configuration which I pushed on GitHub. Okay, so you can see I have exported Ultra as well as workflow or something. So I haven't selected all those things. Whatever information I wanted, I only exported the code on GitHub. Okay, so you can see the code is being pushed on GitHub in this form. Okay. So here we have the control to choose the configuration. If I show you system exporter, so let's say I just want to export one workflow. Okay, this single workflow. So before checking this, I need to go to this properties section, and if you don't want to select the dependency, now what are dependencies? So this workflow might be using some profile, okay, some code. So if you don't want to choose them, then just select this. I don't want to import those, and just select this. That's it. It will be this folder will having only one workflow will be exported. You can see the rest is nothing is being will be exported. So you have the control, like if you want to export a selective configuration, then definitely you can do it. And yeah, we do the same, like whenever there is a change which has been there is, let's say, a change request. So we start in the dev environment, right? And we only change a single file, and we only want to move that file into the quality or PRD. Then at that time we will only export this a single file, not all those things again. Okay, yeah, I hope it is clear to you and making sense. Then the next is system log. This will hold all the system logs which have been generated by the system. So if I click on the search button, you want to see what is the severity of the log, whether it is the information log or a warning or error or disaster log, where you can select the time frame. Okay, till what time you want to see the logs. Okay, and if you want to go for a selective workflow, let's say workflow generated any log and you want to filter only those logs, then you can just select. You can go for agent username log message. You can only also filter out the system logs by message as well. So we will just type any message, and all the message log messages which are matching to this section will be showed here. Okay, so if I click here, so you can see these are the information logs. So I indicates here information. Okay, and if there are error, this is a warning log. Okay, so all this information will be shown here. Okay,
even, and this is a user log. So I logged into UI. So that log has been reported here. If your workflow gets suddenly stopped because of some error, that will also be, you know, shown here. Okay, so this is very helpful. Okay, when something, you know, unexpected happens, then we have to come here and check what exactly happened. Okay, so this will give you the information. What information? Okay, very useful and important. System monitor not needed and required here. So yeah, you can see at what time it was being started and all that is being shown here and nothing else. So don't get confused here. This you know, Windows system we are using is having some different time. Okay, so you can see it is 7:32 a.m. here, but the CM server, wherever CM server is been installed, that time is been different here. So it is, you know, making a little bit confusing things. If I, you know, show you the time here, not time, date, sorry, date of the server. So September 7, 10:30 a.m. is the time on which our CM is been installed. Okay, this is the server time of our CM, and this is the time of the Windows machine I'm using to access the CM server. Okay, so these are having different times here. Then what else? System statistics. So here you will see all the statistic of ECs, workflows, and all and all. Okay, in the, you know, some graphical format. So this is used for sometimes monitoring. Let's say your system is getting down. So you can see it is showing us in statistic form: CPU user time, memory, okay, information, throughput information in a graph format. Okay. So when something, you know, like let's say your workflow is getting down automatically because of some memory issue or something like that. Okay. Or a system is continuously, you know, losing connection to the platform due to memory issues. So you can see that, okay, there is a spike here. So there is some issue. Okay, so this will be used for, you know, concluding something like whether there is a memory issue or some another issues. Okay, just for monitoring purpose. Then UDR file editor. Yeah, this I will explain you whenever we will see the encoding and decoding process. So it is something related to encoding and decoding process which I will explain. Yeah, this I never use, so I won't be explaining you because I even don't know why to use it and when to use it. Then what we have, change password. If you want to change the password of your current user, then you can just give the old password and new password and it will be changed. Then this I already explained you, the documentation link. This is what status exit. If you want to log out in the system, then you can use this button to log out from the system. So this was all about this tool. Okay, and the same thing can be accessed from here. So you can see access control to manage the access. Execution manager, which we saw there, is also available here. Okay, and system logs as well. So here the same log, same thing here and there as well. So it's up to you whether you want to use this particular UI or you are much comfortable here. So I prefer with this because I'm from, you know, I'm working since CM MZ8. So this is MZ9. So I'm working since MZ8, and in MZ8 they were totally relying on this desktop. So we never use this UI. So this was introduced in 9, like the UI which you're seeing here. So yeah, it's up to you whether you want to use this or this. Both are same. Both are doing the same thing. Yeah. So if you want to ask anything, you can ask. But this is what I prepared for this for today's session. I hope this was
Okay,
not too
Jay.
much for you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, great. The detailed overview of each and every section of the tool. I have
Yeah.
one question regarding one of the profile SAP RFC, right? And
Yeah.
you said you have never worked on it, but is it
Ah,
really
I
not
have worked on
required to?
I have worked on
Okay,
SAP RFC. When did I say I didn't work on RFC?
I think you.
I
I
forgot.
heard like
I guess I
yeah,
forgot
yeah.
to explain about RFC profile. Where is it? Yeah. Rest. Sorry,
Okay,
I highlighted this, but I guess this was missed actually. RFC profile. Yeah. So RFC profile is one of the most important profile in SAP, and I have used it widely. Okay, for triggering the RFC call in SAP system to trigger the BAP code. Okay, so you can just give the username of the, you know, I guess we need to make an RFC user whenever you want to interact with the BAP code. So you need to create a RFC user at SAP system, and then we can use the username, password, host here, and SAP's client number and system number and all, and then you can just which RFC function you want to call. So since you are a BAPper, so you are definitely knowing about the functions we create in a BAP code. So there are function modules for, there are some I guess predefined function modules for creating bits, sets, triggering re-rating. So those can be used here. Okay, so we need to add the function name which we want to call from our workflow, and as soon as we add that,
So this is
that
only for the RFC. Like if we
yes,
want to connect to OData, that
definitely,
would be web service
definitely.
like SOAP.
So this is a profile. So this profile
Okay.
means we need to use it somewhere. Okay, that
Yeah, yeah.
somewhere is a workflow. Okay, in the workflow, let me show you if I have. Definitely, I haven't used RFC in this test environment because we don't have SAP system here. So if I show you a real-time workflow, so here you will be able to see RFC processor agent. SAP RFC processor agent. So you need to put that profile here. You can see they're asking here. Okay, and now we will send the data to RFC using this agent. Okay, so that profile is only for the connection. Okay, it will be used by someone else to send the data to a BAP, not a BAP, SAP system. Okay, so let's see if we are able to get the SAP system. So definitely we'll use it, RFC profile.
So are we not going to cover any BRIM related like CC
Yeah, it is in
use
our
cases?
yeah, we will try to
Okay.
cover it. If you'll
Okay.
see, I have put that into syllabus. SAP CC integration and SAP RFC.
Okay. And is there any certification offered by Digital Route or
No,
SAP?
no,
There's
no,
no certification for CM.
no, no. There is no such certification for SAP CM. There is only one certification which has some areas of little bit information about CM, that is usage to cache. Okay, in
Okay.
that all the three modules are there: CC, CI, and FICA. Okay, even I only hold that certificate only. Okay, that only one certificate I hold, because apart from that, there was no such relevant thing which I can get myself certified. So there is no such certification from Digital Route for SAP CM. Any other question, guys? In the topics which we discussed today, we just discussed the overview. But yeah, it is important to know about the tool first before using the tool.
Yeah, so there is a question like, can you
Mhm.
little bit explain about the licensing part?
Mhm.
Some kind of a demo server, production server will be different, right? And when the production server will get expired, you have to do some configuration or something.
Yeah.
And there is a concept of a package, and in that package, if some of the application will be got missed, then you have to
Mhm.
reach out to the support. Can you explain that part?
Yeah. So whenever you will get the license, okay. So this SAP don't give license for personal use. Okay, they will only sell it for commercial use, and you should have I guess your company should be registered. Okay, so you need to share the registration number to them, and then only you will get the access to the tool. So they will give you a zip file, okay, a tar file we call it, and you need to unzip it, and at that time in that file only you will get the license, I guess. Okay, license file which will have a unique license key. Okay, those files are being maintained in the server. I will show you whenever we'll see that. And talking about the package, like everything which you are able to see here. Okay, so let's say you are able to see the RFC. Okay, this RFC. So this RFC, so there is a package dedicated to it. Okay, for RFC. And if that package is not been installed in your system, then this profile won't be available here. Okay, till now I didn't got any chance to install a specific package which is being missed, because those things are actually handled by the this one basis guys. Okay, even in the project they won't even give us the server access. I'm referring to this. Okay, so using command line only those will be handled. Okay, and there are few specific commands for doing that, which you will get information in the documentation. So till now I didn't got any chance to install a specific package. Whenever there we want a package, then we just ask the business guys, okay, we need this package, and then they will install it, and we need to restart our server, and it will be available to us. Okay, so yeah, but I will check about it. Okay, what are the commands which have been used to install a specific packages, because everything is not been included. Okay, let's say you don't want the CC integration in your there is no need of CC integration in your CM system, so you can I guess opt out that. Okay, if you want, then only you can opt, otherwise you can discard that package. But yeah, at this moment I don't know like how to install a specific package. I will come up in the future sessions about that, because that is not a job of a CM consultant. Okay, that is a job
Yeah,
of the business
but
guy.
sometimes as per the requirement, they come up with some use case where
Yeah,
you have to implement that configuration. So
yeah,
in your system, you will look at for that package and it will be not available. That time you have to
mhm,
means raise a ticket to either
yeah,
SAP or digital route to
yeah.
install that package. Something is there, right?
So if I see here, eco management workflow packages, let's see this one, not this one, I guess, not this one. What was the topic name? I forgot the. Mm, 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 mm.
You can check it later. No issue.
Oh,
Not.
yeah, yeah. I will tell you later. Even I need to ask some basis guys as well. Okay, because I
Okay.
also don't have information complete, because I didn't get chance to do that. But yeah, installation definitely I got the chance to do the installation, whatever the file which we get from SAP after purchasing the license. So yeah, I installed SAP CM server. Luckily I got chance, because as a CM consultant, you will rarely get the chance to install the CM server, because that will be handled by someone else definitely. Okay, we are just the user of this tool. Okay, so recently they even eliminated this thing. They won't give this thing as well to us. Okay, they will just give us the tool and use it. Okay, anyways, we'll
So
check.
another question is so we are connecting two systems. One from we are collecting the data and another we are sending the data to the down system.
Yes.
So, sometimes also we have a case some sender system will push the data. So you are creating any API and giving to them to consume and
Mhm.
they will push the data, or all the time you are doing the read operation like a kind
Mhm.
of batch and retrieving
Mhm.
some file system and pushing it to the down system. How
Yeah.
the CM works? Can you
Yeah.
just explain in a short
Yeah.
way?
Yes. So the CM is divided into two sections. One is the real time and another one is batch. You know that. Okay. So whenever you will be dealing with the batch, in which case you will be dealing with the batch, when the data will be provided you in the form of file. Okay,
Yes.
mostly in the file. Now from where that file will come? That file will be pushed by someone, okay, onto your server, onto this this server which is being present here. So if you'll see here, if I open any path, so this is the home path, and we have so many folders, just like we have C drive. Okay, here we
Mm.
maintain the folders. So in one of the folder, your remote system will push the files using an
Okay.
SFTP call. Okay, because whenever you want to transfer the data from one system to another system, an SFTP call is being made, right? So at that time someone will push the data onto your server, and you just need to collect that data and process the data. Okay, so for collecting and processing the data, we will create the workflow. Now for testing purpose, we will create our own file. Okay, we'll create our own file on the server and place that on a server. As well as I will also show you how can we push the data from a remote server onto the CM server using a SFTP call. Okay, this is the one case. So I will be mostly creating the test files into the server and show you the processing. Okay, now next comes the real-time mediation. For real-time mediation, definitely we will get the data from the real-time sources. Now in actual projects, the data will be coming from some APIs, some nodes, or some remote servers. But here we don't have that. So we will try to mock that. Okay, so let's say I'm showing you an real-time scenario in which I have created the APIs. Okay, so I will be testing it by sending it from the postman, or there are some other tools, or by sending the data from the browser as well for testing. Okay, to push the data manually on CM. Okay, so definitely we'll be creating our own mock data and then sending the data to CM for processing.
Okay, thank you.
I hope it is clear. Yeah. So for the task for you guys is, okay, so as soon as you get the server for this week, so as soon as you get the server, you just log in into the server, try to log in you into this desktop, as well as this browser, okay, as well as this putty. Okay, that's it. And you will be given a file, okay, having all this information. Okay, so don't worry. And if you have any question, then definitely you can note it down and come in the next session. Okay, but before next session, please open this tool and just check it. Or one more thing you can do is you can create your own folder. Okay, just create a new folder by your name or any name. Okay, that's all for the this session.
Thank you.
Yeah, most
Okay.
welcome.
AJ, I just want to talk one topic. If you, I mean, after stopping the recording, if you have time, 1 minute. It won't take much time.
Yes, please, you can ask me now.
I mean, after stopping the recording, I can talk that.
Yeah, you can. Let's ask admin to stop the recording. Actually, I don't have access to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if.
Yeah. Your screen is being shared. Stop here. Okay. Yeah. Let me. Yeah.
Naveen, are you there?
Yeah. No. Admin, can you please stop the recording, please?
Too many zeros.
I guess.
Yeah, that's fine. I think he's not there, but we can talk later. Okay, no problem. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. So we'll be having almost 1.5 hour session. Okay. Rarely we'll have a 2 hour session. Okay, because it will be too much. So we'll have 1.5 to 1.25 hour session. Okay. Yeah.
So how many days it will take to complete this?
It will take almost 2 months. But sometimes it might get extended for 2.5 months. Okay, at the most 2.5 months. Because we are just only conducting weekend batches, right? And there are almost 24 topics in our syllabus. Some topics might take 2 days. Some topic might be get ended into one session as well. Okay, depending upon the complexity of the topics. Okay. So, but yeah, roughly I can just tell you it will take around more than 2 months. Okay, but within 3 months. Okay, not more than 3 months. Or I can just commit directly 2.5 months. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for your time, guys. See you on next.
Okay, Jay.
Yeah.
See you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Before you can
Say what you want to say. Cancel or leave.
leave me